Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
If you see a student being bullied, be supportive. Ask if they're okay and invite them to join you. You'll be an ally and you can make a friend. Friendship! Visit StopBullyingSpeakUp.com and join Cartoon Network to redraw your world without bullying.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Beautiful afternoon out there. We'll see a high of 82 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Overnight tonight, upper 50s. Some patchy fog and low cloud cover could develop by early Saturday morning. But most of Saturday looks partly cloudy with a high of 80. Partly cloudy with mid to upper 80s on Sunday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 184 points to 45,923. Market update brought to you by Allen Tate. Ready to sell your home? Trust the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas, Howard Hanna Allen Tate. Let them show you a real estate experience that is different from all others. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Beat him up, intercepted. Here's Isaiah Shirley, the big fella, at the 20. He breaks a tackle at the 10, stumbling inside the 5 and scores. It's a drop back, dump off, end zone touchdown, Justin Jolie. 3-man rush, Bailey hit as he throws, left side of the end zone, touchdown. NC State 12-yarder, left side of the end zone, and the Pack's on top. Lobs it right, it's intercepted, picked off by Ronnie Royal. NC State's got the ball, and that should do it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox producing the show. Just heard highlights from NC State's victory over Wake Forest last night to open up ACC football play, 34-24. A lot of times when there's a big comeback, I joke like, oh, if you'd have fell asleep in the third quarter, you probably think so-and-so team won. If people fell asleep at different times throughout that game last night, there could be like 9 different expectations when they woke up. About halfway through the first quarter, fell asleep. Oh, well, let me tell you what happened. Oh, I made it to the end of the first quarter. Oh, you think there was a completely different game?
Yeah.
Oh, I made it to halftime. Oh, that's even different game.
There was a game's worth of stuff and then some all by the end of the first quarter.
It absolutely was. And it was fun to watch. It was a good time, and it's going to lead off the Big 3 at 3. Number 1, State beats Wake Forest. The hilarious part of it, right? There was good, there was bad from both sides. But the hilarious part of it is Yesterday, I asked on this show, is it a bad thing that people are starting to believe in NC State? Because they had 2 games where their quarterback played well, their running back was looking good, the Dave Doran was making more aggressive decisions on 4th downs and things. Their defense stepped up in the second half against UVA, and I was like, uh-oh. All we say about the Dave Doran-led Wolfpack is did they do their best when nobody believes in them, right? The seasons where they come in with no expectations are the ones where they end up playing the best or doing the best in the record in the rankings. And going into week 3, it felt like people were believing in NC State, so I almost jokingly said, is this a bad thing? Well, guess what? They came out, gave up a return on the opening kickoff, the ball right back to Wake Forest. They have a 75-yard touchdown to put them down on the goal line. 75-yard catch, put them down on the goal line. They score, down 14-0. Sure enough, whoever did believe in them going into week 3 didn't believe in them then, and that's when NC State starts playing really good football. They complete the comeback, and they end up winning by 10. They just had to find a way to get everybody to doubt them. Then they could go play. Then they could go light it up. Then Hollywood Smothers could light it up. Then the defense could step it up in a big way in the second half. Then C.J. Bailey could make great decisions throughout the night. Now, I don't think that's actually why they started playing well. I think they maybe sleptwalked through the first special teams play and got things a little rattled earlier. But still, it fits the narrative. NC State only plays well when nobody believes in them. And in games that they go into where there's a little bit of belief, they'll end that quickly and then start playing well. Dave Doran was asked after the game why the defense played so much better in the second half versus the first.
They just settled in and started beating blocks. There was a lot of good tackles. Didn't let anyone behind them. Got pressure on the quarterback. Execution.
They did a really, really good job specifically with assignments and gap integrity and everything else in that second half.
Yeah, no points allowed. I think it was, 80-something yards? No, not even 80-something yards, I don't think.
At one point,
very few.
At one point late in the game, it was 1 first down in the second half.
Yeah.
They played exceptional in the second half, that defense. Exceptional. Now you have to find a way to – they've been very good in fourth quarters this year. They have to find a way to start off playing that way. But, if you have to choose start hot or finish hot, you're always going to choose the second. So big win for NC State. Now they have a stress-free weekend to get ready for Duke. Speaking of, let's jump to number 2 in the Big 3 at 3.
Number 2.
Duke has a really interesting one. They're going to Tulane. They're going on the road to Tulane, which is Darian Mensa's old team. UNC, meanwhile, gets Richmond at home. This is two different deals here, okay? Duke, I truly believe, and by the way, the last I checked, Duke was actually the underdog against Tulane. They are in win by any means necessary territory. Right? This game is a weird one. It's an emotional one for your quarterback. Obviously, the players and the coaches on the opposite sideline are going to know a little bit more about your quarterback. So the play calling has to be even more unpredictable and even more schemed up. It's a weird game. On the road at a Group of 5 program, which doesn't happen often. Okay? So that is for Duke, win by any means necessary. Get that taste of the Illinois second half out of your mouth and memory. By any means necessary. UNC, on the other hand, I think should play for style points against Richmond. If you get up 2 scores, go up 3. If you get up 3, go up 5. If you get up 5, try to score 80. And I'm not in favor of running up the score just to embarrass your opponent. But when you're North Carolina and through 2 weeks, there's so many questions and there's so much doubt and there's been so many memes about your coach and there's been so much negativity riled up. Enjoy it if you get up by a bunch. And you should, by the way. Richmond lost to Lehigh to start the season. They won 14-10 against Wofford last week. So if you have the opportunity to pour it on, pour it on. And if you are the coach, manipulate it a bit once you get up. right? We've played the audio. We've heard from Coach Belichick, that's Bill, about they're still trying to figure out their backfield rotation with running backs. We've seen Gio Lopez maybe be limited in his target location outside the hashes, really only testing him downfield down the left sideline. So if you find yourself in control of a game against Richmond, FCS opponent, not even a super strong FCS opponent, pick whichever bell cow running back you want to look good. Feed them the ball. Get Gio Lopez a whole bunch of completions in places of the field that he has not targeted much. Manipulate the outcomes a little bit so you're more confident and you have a better plan going into next week. So Duke on the road, Tulane, whatever it takes to win. If you win by 1, you win by a mile. UNC, I do think there's win and build your team's confidence. Win and get Gio Lopez into a more varied attack. Win and settle your running back rotation, whatever it is.
Duke still 1.5-point underdogs.
I would take that as a bit of disrespect, and I would use that as a little bit of motivation, but that's just me. Manny Diaz strikes me as the coach speak. We don't care about that outside stuff, but I would use that as motivation. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, number 3 in the Big 3.
Number 3.
Panthers at Cardinals, second straight game to open the season on the road. There's a lot to get to here. There's a lot to talk about. I think a lot of the discourse surrounding this game will be on Bryce Young. Because there's right now 2 aggressive components of Panthers fandom, at least by the way I've interacted with them, with listeners reaching out to us, my social media feeds, the different forums and everything. There are 2 camps, and they are opposite ends of the spectrum. One, Bryce is really good. The team is holding him back. What do you expect when he has all these bad players around him? And I'm paraphrasing, but pretty darn close. And then the other is Bryce ain't it. And the crazy part is we are 3 years in. This is year number 3. And there's not more consensus on the player. Even the players, I used to call it the Baker Mayfield line, like the Mendoza line in baseball, right? If you are hitting above 200, you're like, okay. If you're hitting below 200, that's bad. The Mendoza line in baseball. I used to call it the Baker Mayfield line. If you were any better than Baker Mayfield, you're a quarterback that's getting a top-of-the-line contract. If you're any below Baker Mayfield, you're a quarterback that was probably being moved on from. That was back when he was kind of end of his Browns tenure. Obviously, even Baker is above the Baker line at this moment. But usually when you get to like the 3rd year of a player, if you're still up in the air, it's because you're either right above or right below that line, right? And that's where the debate is if you need to be at least a 6 out of 10 quarterback to be the future of a franchise, there's people arguing whether he's a 6.1 or a 5.9. Those are the debates. Bryce Young, it feels like the fan base is like he's either an 8.7 or a 2. Like it's crazy that we're this far in and there's still that much of a disagreement.
I've had Panther fans in my mentions today, unsolicited, being like, well, actually, Bryce didn't do that bad. Like talking about specific plays. I was like,
he was held back by this. He was held back by that. The guy in his face. This guy dropped it. This guy didn't do this. And by the way, the context that you're bringing up isn't untrue. It's just we've had 3 years of it. Are you going to overcome context at any point in time? So, and we talked about it yesterday, right? The way Washington and Green Bay have become kind of buzzy teams, even though Washington didn't look great yesterday, was they got their young quarterbacks in place. They showed that they're the guy, and now everything can be built around them with optimism in their hearts. Until Bryce does or doesn't, right? Until the team shows that he is that or he is not that and they look for someone else, the Panthers can't build the cathedral around the quarterback. They can't build the rest of the building because the foundation is still unsure. So, Panthers at Cardinals, Bryce better be a lot more productive than he was in week 1, regardless of the context. That's going to be a big part of the story. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Big 3 at 3. In a quick minute here, we'll be back to break down that State Wake Forest game. What players stood out, and how much are they ready for the national spotlight for NC State? Stick around.
It's the final shot at the Championship 4. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. In just over 5 weeks with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I'm down over 30 pounds. That's right, over 30 pounds lost, thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. And here's the thing I love about the Raleigh Weight Loss Center program. Their goal is not just for you to reach a target weight. It's to reach the target weight, but also maintain that weight as well. You're not doing any injections, no shots, no HGH or steroids. It's just resetting and restarting your metabolism. That way you lose the weight in a natural way, but most importantly, keep that weight off. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com for your free consultation today. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or give them a call, 919-897-7506. 919-897-7506 is the number to call, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506. Get on that journey today. Results may vary.
It's fur, fun, and free. Join fellow pet lovers for Richie Rescues in the Park, a free community event filled with adoptable pets in need of homes. Come pick your next pet at Richie Rescues in the Park this Saturday, 11 to 3 at Dix Park in Raleigh. Sponsored by Richie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends September 12th.
See Home Club for details.
Smothers is back in now. 3rd and goal from the 4. Smothers to the right of Bailey. 4 targets to work with. Snap back. It's an all-out blitz. Locks it over the middle. Touchdown. Joe Lee's 2nd touchdown haul of the game. PAT could tie it at 6:22 to play in the 3rd quarter.
NC State beat Wake Forest last night, 3-0. Wolfpacker 3-0. 2-0 against the power conferences, 2-0 against the ACC, although only one was an ACC in-conference game. All exciting in their own way. None, blowout fashion, but wins nonetheless. There are 2 guys for State that I believe are superstar track right now. C.J. Bailey, the quarterback, and Hollywood Smothers, the running back. They are on a superstar track for a couple reasons. One, their own individual talent, right? They look the part. They can make the plays. If Hollywood Smothers has the ball and you're in the open field, it's going to be a mighty difficult tackle every single time. And if he gets a step on you, he has the speed. There's a reason he was the recruit that he was coming out of high school, and he is a engine in that offense. There was a point right after State went down 14-0, where it seemed like for 8 minutes of game time, every touch was Hollywood Smothers. And that tells you everything you need to know about the way Kurt Roper thinks of that player, right? When you need, when it is a must-gain yard situation, they tried everything they could to get the ball to Hollywood Smothers, and he made good on it, right? We're going to talk about him throughout the year. I think he is a all-ACC candidate. C.J. Bailey is an interesting case because everybody is excited about his physical ability, right? He's putting some balls downfield into windows that most quarterbacks wouldn't even attempt, and he's fitting it in there seemingly effortlessly.
At least, yeah, like you said, looks that way.
He's running well, making guys miss, protecting against the big hits, getting out of bounds when he can. There's that side of the athleticism, which I think at least I undersold. I knew he was a good runner from last year. He appears more agile and, quite frankly, faster than I expected. So the physical gifts are there, and to me, that's what everybody's getting excited about. That's what it seems like. I watched it last night, went back, watched the game again this morning. His decision-making might be as, if not more impressive than the physical abilities. The third down decisions are really good. The red zone decisions are becoming matter of fact, which they're not for a sophomore quarterback who, by the way, did not redshirt. This is not a guy that went and played 20 games at a group of 5 school and then transferred with a grizzled veteran attitude to a power conference school. This is a guy that has had to learn to swim by being thrown into the deep end, and he's come out on the other side as a really effective quarterback. There's a saying, and trust me, this will come back around. There's a saying that coaches tell young athletes: hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, right? And my thought always is, yeah, well, what if the talent works hard, coach? Like, you're telling us if we're playing a more talented team and they also work hard, we're out of luck, right? And I think there's a similar deal going on there with quarterbacks, where every quarterback is put in either the athlete or the game manager. And game manager is such a negative, right? Because it implies there's something you can't do physically, so you have to resort to just managing the game. Right, and for whatever reason, like the archetypes for me, you like the perfect examples are, you're either like Anthony Richardson, 6'4", 240, laser rocket arm, 4'4", 40. You're the athlete, or you're like Bo Nix, and Bo Nix is a better athlete than you think, but it's just. Bo Nix is seen as, well, Sean Payton trusts him to make the right decision, and he's distributing the football, and then I'm going, yeah, okay, great. But what if there's the athlete who's also a game manager, right? Hard work and talent aren't mutually exclusive. Physical talent and decision-making are not mutually exclusive. CJ Bailey has been really impressive through the first 3 games at decision-making and getting better from week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3 with knowing when to take a chance, when not to take a chance, when to run, when to let it fly, when to trust a receiver, when to just execute the play as it's on the card, when to improv. He's been really good. And then you look towards actually, let's hear from Dave Doran. Let's just so I'm not the only one singing praises here. Let's go with Dave Doran on how CJ Bailey continues to get better in the postgame presser.
So proud of CJ. What you guys don't see is how he leads the team. You know, how big his voice is now, how accountable he'll hold people, and back it up with his own work. And the thing that's really awesome, and it was this way last year with him, is if he makes a mistake, he's the first one to say, that's on me, And so it's easy to follow a guy like him. And he knows the offense. He understands it. He makes plays with his feet. He takes care of the football, and he gives guys a chance to make a play.
Yeah. And we will never be able to see the leadership stuff in a way that a coach or a player will. But if you take Dave Doran's word for it, then he's got all 3. He's got the physical ability, he's got the mental processing, and he's got the leadership, the social part of the game. It's really impressive for a young guy. You mix in Hollywood Smothers being the ultimate breather, right? I talk often about how Peyton Manning has references breather plays a lot, which is certain times quarterbacks, your heart rate gets up, right? And then your eyes get a little big, even for Peyton Manning. And his coaches would recognize, all right, he needs a breather play, and you would do we used to call them carry plays, C-A-R-I, call and run it. That means you don't get to check, you don't get to audible, you don't get to kill, easy. You don't get to do any of that, right? We're carry, dive, right? And that just lets the quarterback turn your brain off for 30 seconds. And you just turn and hand it. Catch that breather. Well, for CJ Bailey, his breather is Hollywood Smothers, which means the breather play might be a 25-yard gain to get you down into the red zone.
For real.
It's the best kind of breather play in the world. So there's all this hype for these two guys. And it's hype, but earned, right? Not all hype is fake. It's not all smoke, right? Some of it's fire, ironically, because there was a fire in the first half of that game. For those of you watching, you get it. If not,
literal.
A cart caught, like a food cart caught fire, and they had a camera like inside. It was kind of a crazy shot.
Yeah.
But then you look towards the future. State has 2 extra days to prepare for Duke, right? So Duke's playing an emotional game on Saturday. Meanwhile, State's already getting ready for Duke, so they get the 2 extra days playing on a Thursday. Thursday games are annoying for coaches until you win it. Then it's great because then you have a long week to get ready for the next one. Then their schedule goes like this. At Duke, Virginia Tech at home, and Virginia Tech, if you watched their game against Vanderbilt last week, showed some holes. I'm not going to say anything too negative, but showed some holes.
They're not that good, but go on.
Campbell the next week. You'd expect that to be a win.
Yep.
Then at number 8, Notre Dame. Depending on how the Duke game goes, and you have the 2 extra days, you should be, if you take care of business. I know that's dangerous talking about NC State. If you take care of business, you're 5-1 or 6-0, depending on how the Duke game goes, ranked perhaps, going to Notre Dame, who at the moment is in the top 10 in the country. That is when the flame gets the spotlight gets very, very hot on the players at the fantasy football positions. Right? The guys that score the points, the guys that win the Heisman, we're talking quarterbacks, running backs. If there is a number 1 wide receiver, which it appears like State is going to go more by committee there. But there's going to be some hype for Bailey and Smothers, which now becomes part of the challenges and obstacles for this NC State team. How do you handle it? How do you handle it when everybody's talking about how awesome you are? How do you handle it when you can't walk anywhere in Raleigh without people giving you the wolf fingers and telling you how great you are? How do you handle it? I mean, this might be too surface level. His name is Hollywood. I mean, it's like how do you handle it when the red carpet is rolled out for you everywhere? Hollywood Smothers.
I'm surprised they haven't called him Raleighwood Smothers yet.
I'm sure they're making the T-shirts.
They should.
The NIL money has
Actually,
to be.
you know what? If someone makes a Raleighwood Smothers T-shirt, I want royalties because I just came up with that.
Raleighwood Smothers actually is a great T-shirt. That is a fantastic T-shirt.
Right now, I would expect royalties off that. Patent it, 3:25 p.m. Eastern Time, September 12th, 2025.
I wouldn't be surprised if they've already ordered it. I would not. Raleighwood Smothers is fantastic. Unless there's some kind of trademark, in which case we didn't suggest that. We're not liable. But my point is, last night, for the first, ironically, when actually they were getting themselves down 14, but last night there were no other college games on. None. And the NFL game didn't start till like an hour after. So you may have gotten invested in the State game, right? The casual fan that's not from the ACC country, not from the Triangle, just wanted to watch football last night, may have been introduced to a couple of really good players. And now they're curious, right? Now they're going to check the State score next week. Now they're like, what happened to that running back? He was a beast. Oh, look, they're playing Notre Dame and they're ranked. Like, it's going to be that buildup if they play at least B-plus football over the next 3 weeks. Win or lose against Duke, win the next 2. Buckle up. Hype train a-coming. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the Dean's List coming up, but not before I tell you about Maynard Service Company. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. They're working on heating, cooling systems, plumbing, electrical, all across the Triangle. They are one of those businesses that like kind of your common sense says, well, I hope I trust them. I hope I like them. I hope I never have to call them, right? Because that means something bad happened. Well, not necessarily. Obviously, I'm going to give you their phone number in a second, and I want you to save it in your phone for the if something bad happens, right? A leak breaks out, your electricity fries, and whatever it is. You go up into the attic and you notice that there's some wires that aren't capped correctly, and you don't trust yourself. You want it, whatever it is, right? If the bad happens, you want to have Maynard Service Company's phone number. But don't just call them in the bad times. Call them to prevent the bad times. Get them out to your HVAC for some maintenance. Right? Get them to crawl around in your crawl space to make sure that there's nothing to worry about there that could lead to a big problem down the line. They again, with the months getting colder, you're going to be running maybe your fire, maybe your heater a bit more than you're used to. Have them come out first, check it all out, make sure it's running the way it should. Again, the number to bookmark for the bad times, the scary times, but also just to call in the good times for a little bit of maintenance to prevent the bad times. The number is 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MainorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. First thing out of this break, Sin City Skateaway keyword for the hour. First thing. So don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it. Next.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
At Dogwood State Bank, we believe in the strength of community and the power of local partnerships. That's why we're proud to support NC State football. Just as the Wolfpack brings dedication and teamwork to the field, we bring that same commitment to helping individuals and businesses achieve their goals. Dogwood State Bank, proud to serve our community, proud to support the Pack. Member FDIC.
Football season is here, and Carolina Ale House is the place to be. With a massive beer selection, wall-to-wall TVs, and our award-winning wings, you'll never miss a play. Add in our lineup of homemade favorites, and you've got the best seat in the house. Bring your friends, bring your appetite, and help us create that game day atmosphere all season long at Carolina Ale House. Wings, beer, sports, repeat. Hell yeah.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-738-2626. 800-738-2626. 800-738-2626.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Deep drop. There we go. Deep throw. Touchdown. Left side. Touchdown, Carolina. Chris Culliver brings it in. 3 plays, 75 yards.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As promised before the break, it's time for the first keyword for this show. The keyword of the hour for the Sin City Skateaway. All week, Monday through today, we've been giving out keywords once an hour that you can hear on 99.9 The Fan. Text in to 919-860-5326. And if you do that before the start of the next hour, you gain an entry into the Sin City Skateaway that could end up winning you a pair of tickets to see, we're talking hockey, a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas on October 20th. Along with round-trip airfare for 2, along with a 3-night stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino, and along with a $400 food credit. All of that will go to one of you. Somebody's going to win. If you want it to be you, the only thing I can give you as advice is listen to 99.9 The Fan between noon and 6 for the rest of today and then all day next Monday through Friday. And if you hear the keywords, text them in by the start of the next hour as often as you possibly can. Once an hour, as many of the hours as possible, and you'll increase your chances. Don't miss your shot at the Ultimate Hockey Getaway, brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. Now, with that all being said, the keyword for today, for this hour, is WIN. W-I-N. WIN. Text WIN. That's all you need to text, just the keyword, to 919-860-5326. Do that by 4 o'clock. About 27 minutes remaining in the hour. Text WIN, W-I-N, to 919-860-5326. Might be the text that wins you a free trip to Vegas.
About to say, can you use it in a sentence? And you just did.
Hey. Unintentionally. Language of origin. Winner's language. Win
Sports.
is what we were looking for. W-I-N. And by the way, just fun. It's like when you buy a lottery ticket and then you start thinking about how you're going to spend it. Who are you going to bring? As soon as you send in the text, let yourself daydream. You're bringing a buddy. You're bringing maybe your significant other, parent, maybe the biggest Canes fan you know. Who are you going to bring? It's fun to think about. What are you going to spend that $400 food credit on?
Food.
What though? What type of food? Steaks? We going some pasta? What are we going?
Is there a breakfast buffet? Because
I'm sure
crush it.
I'm sure in Vegas they've got breakfast 24 hours a day.
I know.
You don't know what time people are waking up and going to sleep in Vegas.
It's my kind of food.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do know what time it is here though, and it's time about this time every day for the Dean's List, where we give those in the college sports world a few extra rounds of applause, a little extra love. Starting with the ACC. The replay officials thing.
Yo, that was awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yes.
Pretty cool. And I don't get to say this darn near ever about the ACC. They did it first. They're breaking ground. They're progressive. They're looking to be forward thinking. For those of you that didn't watch the State Wake Forest game last night, they basically, and there were a couple tech glitches, but I'm sure they'll iron it out. When there's a review, right, did he catch it in bounds or not, they show you what the refs are looking at, and they clue you into the audio of what they're talking about, which transparency is awesome in refereeing. I don't like the secrecy at all. Like when refs are talking, I feel like they should always be mic'd up so we can hear what they're saying. It'll just eliminate so much of like the conspiracy theory stuff, right? Instead of, oh, they didn't want to give it to us. You watch it and you're like, hear them say, well, if you look at the foot right there, you see the blade of grass moves, and it's going to be out of bounds. Like
the knee was down. It was at the 12-yard line. This is what was on the clock.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Got it. Thanks.
It was a very cool deal, and I think every college and pro league should do it. Why not?
If I remember correctly, it was the XFL or UFL. One of the spring football leagues did it about 3 years ago or so, something like that. And I thought, okay, this is great. But the fact that the ACC is doing it, we got to see it last night, I thought it was fascinating.
I agree. I thought it was. That's why they're on the Dean's List. And even if it worked horribly, even if like the you learn that the refs are in there doing tic-tac-toe to find out who gets to make the call, they're flipping coins and stuff, I still like that you try something new, right? Give it a go. If it's horrible, if it's bad TV, if it's not entertaining, if they mumble too much, then bail on it. But it was cool, so I think they should keep it. Do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out there?
I do. The first quarter of last night's NC State Wake Forest game was absolutely bananas. If you got all of that, everything that happened in the first quarter last night, a kickoff return for a touchdown, a defensive lineman with a 41-yard pick six, a thick six, dare I say, and a food truck, a barbecue food truck catching on fire so the smoke is covering the field, and there's still a minute and a half left in the first quarter. If you got all that in one game, you'd be like, man, this is wild. You got it in a quarter, folks. That was entertainment, along with the booth review stuff. Wonderful. Absolutely loved it.
Everybody goes thick six when a big guy scores.
Yeah, why not?
For whatever reason, actually I know why, because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But every time a big guy scores, my mind goes right to John Madden in The Replacements, where he's like, I love the way when a fat guy scores, because then you get a fat guy spike and a fat guy dance.
Yep.
And that's what I think every time. Like, he was rumbling, right? Shirley caught it, and you could tell there was nobody around. He was on the move. Almost stumbled there at the end. But the whole way I was thinking, like, we're going to get a John Madden fat guy score. It's perfect. More Dean's Listers. I'm giving a shout-out to Joker Phillips, the NC State wide receivers coach. I was telling Dennis about this earlier. State's offenses looked really good. Hollywood Smothers, bell cow back, right? C.J. Bailey, star at quarterback. The wide receiver group is really getting it done as a room. Like, the entire room is being impactful. I went back and looked at their 3 games. If you just look at the 2 most productive wide receivers in each game. Number 1, most yards. Number 2, second most yards. If there's a tie, break it with, like, touchdowns.
Specifically looking at receivers.
Receivers, yes. Okay. Receivers catching. The first game, Wesley Grimes and Teddy Hoffman were the 2 most productive receivers. The second game, Terrell Anderson and Noah Rogers were the 2 most productive receivers. The third game, Noah Rogers and Keenan Jackson were the 2 most productive receivers. So it is truly like wide receivers show up on game day not knowing who's going to have the big game, not knowing who's going to catch the deep ball, not knowing who's going to be the target on third down. And because of that, Joker Phillips, NC State wide receivers coach, he's got to have everybody ready, right? A lot of times receivers coaches, like pregame, they'll be like, a couple guys they got to talk to a little bit more. A couple guys they just got to check in like, hey, if we need you, you ready? No, he's got to check in with everybody on every play to make sure they're ready to roll. 5 different guys have been amongst, 2 top receivers in 3 games. There's 6 possibilities there. They filled them with 5 different names. The only one to double up was Noah Rogers, and he went from second most productive at UVA to most productive last night at Wake. Or against UVA and then at Wake. It's good coaching. Everybody's ready, including like Teddy Hoffman in game 1, right? True freshman just jumps out there. He's ready to roll. A lot of good stuff there.
One more thing on the Dean's List for me.
Go ahead.
I know it's looking ahead a little bit to next week, but Duke, NC State, that game's going to be on ESPN2. It's a 4 o'clock kick. 3:30 kickoff next week. UNC at Central Florida on Fox. So we're getting national broadcast for both these teams, like national in the late afternoon window. I think it's good. All 3 teams in the triangle at the same time are going to be getting that national attention.
My parents live in Orlando, so I'm actually going to that
nice.
UNC at UCF game. Do you know what they call the stadium for UCF?
What's that?
The Bounce House.
The Bounce House?
Yeah. I think that's like officially what its title is. It's like the whatever the sponsor is, Bounce House, rather than like so-and-so field, so-and-so stadium. It's like the so-and-so Bounce House.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of wild. But I'll be there for the UNC game. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's cut it right there. Dismiss the Dean's List. And before we move on, Dennis Cox is waving something at me, which means he has something to tell you.
That's right, I do. Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. That's something I'm very much looking forward to this weekend, or one of the things I'm looking forward to this weekend, outside of all the sports and everything that we get to watch. With the nice weather that we have going on, I love a good just evening ride on my motorcycle. That's something I very much enjoy when the roads are a little bit less crowded. Just go on the motorcycle, just enjoy the weather, a nice evening ride. But something you have to make sure you keep in mind as a motorcycle rider, just assume no one sees you out there on the road. That's the best way you can probably keep yourself safe. Obviously, with everything that you're doing in terms of your speed and lane position, but mentally, just think that no one sees you. Always assume that. That will help you keep at a safe distance. That'll also help you avoid anybody that's driving distracted. But unfortunately, accidents can happen. This is where Law Tigers steps in to help you. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Law Tigers, the best thing about them is that they are part of the motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike and gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Let's be honest. The reason why you call them first is because the insurance companies, they just want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they are there to fight for you. That's why your case evaluation is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, looks towards a big matchup against a smaller level program. UNC versus Richmond, FCS. What does UNC need to do? I'll tell you next.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime, and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Got a sore throat? A kid with a high fever? An aching back? I've got 3 words for you. WakeMed Urgent Care. Locations everywhere. Urgent care just for kids. Urgent care just for orthopedics. Urgent care every day of the year at MyCare 365. Even virtual urgent care on your couch, in your jammies. Find the urgent care location nearest you at wakemed.org. We'll be here with the care you need whenever you need it.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months, 0 interest?
12 months, 0 interest, 0 payments for 12 months.
0 payments and 0 interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
Hands off to Goss. Goss left side of the 10. Goss at the 5. Sprints to the front left corner of the end zone for 6.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. UNC, Bill Belichick's North Carolina Tar Heels, hosting the Richmond Spiders this weekend. 3:30 start, 21-point favorites for the Tar Heels. There's a very specific way I look at this game for UNC. And it is no disrespect to Richmond, but probably a little disrespect will be taken if you are a big Richmond fan. This is your free throw to see the ball go through the hoop. This is your free bingo square. This is I forget who it actually was. There was a general of some kind, an armed forces leader who gave a commencement speech and told a big anecdote about making your bed every morning. Because it's something that you can get out of bed, do, accomplish well, and you've started your day off with a checking off of something on your to-do list, right? Like you've accomplished a task and now you're off and running to accomplishing all of your other goals. Like that's what Richmond is for UNC. This is your chance to have a great game. This is your chance to run up the score. Put together a real highlight film. Put together this might be a little embarrassing, but every Friday when I played in college, if we had a Saturday game, so that we do our walkthrough, we'd have a big team meeting, and whether we won or lost the week before, Coach had I think it was the graduate assistants or the media, whoever it was, would put together the media, like a sports information department. They'd put together a highlight film from our previous game. Okay, and it was just to get us hyped up. Remember the big plays, right? So it was the good confidence going into the next day, which was game day. And there were certain games where highlight film was electric, right? 9 minutes, multiple angles, highlights, slow motion. Look at all these awesome plays. And then there were weeks where it was like a 2.5-minute highlight film, and we watched one play from 8 different angles because they had to we didn't have many highlights. Right? When you have like a 9-yard run on 3rd and 17 and it's on your highlight film, it's like It wasn't a great week. UNC has kind of been doing that, right? If you watch game 1, well, you had the highlights of the first opening drive and then not much else. And if you watch game 2, you had the highlights of the first opening drive and then not much else. Like, this is a game where the highlight film should be 25 minutes long. It is hard, and I agree it's hard, to put together a roster that is as talented as you'd like it to be, as cohesive as you'd like it to be, in 6 months after taking over a program. And it becomes even more difficult if you try to do that with a staff that doesn't have a ton of experience in college, right? You have NFL experience, which is good for football, but you don't know how to navigate recruiting, right? You don't know what to do on that front, how to navigate the transfer portal. So you had to figure that out. You had to put together your roster. It would have been wildly impressive if you had the same level of talent as a TCU, who won whatever it was, 9 or 10 games last night. Or last year, not last night. But none of that should matter against an FCS opponent like Richmond. They lost to Lehigh. They beat Wofford 14-10 last week. Not only do I need to see UNC dominate, I want to see them dominate in specific fashions, right? I want their running game to get going. I want Gio Lopez to spread the ball all over the field, something that he hasn't been doing well. I want Jordan Shipp to look like a star, not just in the eye test, but in the production category, because he looks like a star through 2 weeks. He looks talented, but the production hasn't been there because the entire offense has sputtered. I want to see them go out there and utilize an FCS opponent for what it's supposed to be. Right? You don't schedule Richmond at home because you're thinking of putting on the best show for your fans. Right? If you were thinking of putting on the best show for your fans, you'd go get a bigger name opponent or somebody with a rivalry, a history, something like that. No, you schedule Richmond because you want to buy a win. You schedule an FCS opponent because you want a team that you can tune up against. And the way it works on the schedule, right? You go TCU, Charlotte on the road, home against Richmond. It is a chance to find out what you don't do well in the first 2 weeks. And you hoped it wouldn't happen as much against Charlotte as it did against TCU, but not as, you find out what you don't do well. Now you get to use Richmond as that game to fix it. Like, I don't think the players have gotten to see like a jubilant Belichick. Now, I know we'll never see a jubilant. He doesn't show that publicly, right? Not until he's at like a parade celebrating a championship. But even after Charlotte, I'm sure that post-game locker room was like, all right, well, we won. But hey, be ready on Monday. We're going to go through some things. Maybe a 40-point win. And if you have to keep the starters in longer, keep the starters in longer. Right? There's no reason at all that you can't kind of manufacture a big win if you're UNC.
If you're on defense as well, you have 1 sack in 2 games this season.
Very similar. I'm focusing on offense because that's always kind of how I look through it. But you're exactly right. Like, whatever it is that you feel like you've been it's been just out of your reach for the first 2 games, go get 10 of them. You know what I mean? And 10's an exaggeration, but it's I'm sure the defensive line meeting room has stats somewhere on a whiteboard, right? And just with a 1 tally mark there in sacks, that's unacceptable. Go get a bunch. Like I said, that highlight film that they would show us on Fridays, the defensive line group probably hasn't seen themselves but once in the highlights. You need that kind of stuff to make yourself just feel good, right? It's why at the end of a long season when teams aren't very good, players just seem beaten down because I'm not saying they work any harder or less hard than a winning team, right? You ever see a team that's like 9-1 after 10 weeks or a team that's 2-8? They've both been hit the same amount of times. They've both had the same amount of practices, but one looks exhausted and the other looks chipper. Because winning, big wins, all of those things, they rejuvenate you. Big plays. Nobody ever gets up slow and hurt after getting an interception. You get up slow and hurt after you get run over on the way to a touchdown, right? Like the wins just make everything feel a little bit better. And this North Carolina program is desperately in need of that recharge.
Mm-hmm.
There's oh man, now it's going to bug me. I was watching a TV show the other day, which I don't do very often, and I can't even remember what TV show it was, which shows where my brain was. And one of the characters just looked at the other and said, I don't know if I've ever seen someone more in need of a night in Atlantic City, right? Because they were overworked and they were exhausted and they were doing too much, and it was just like, you got to go, dude. Go to Atlantic City, sit down at a gambling table, and don't come back till Tuesday, like something like that. That's kind of where I feel like UNC is right now. Like you guys are answering questions 24 hours a day, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
People that you haven't talked to in years are texting you like, what's going on with Belichick, right? Like you're getting DMs from old teachers. Like, is Bill Belichick really making it work? Oh, what happened against TCU? Oh, I saw the game. I'm so sorry it went that way for you. Like, you guys are just – I've never seen a team more in need of a night just beating the heck out of a FCS opponent on the scoreboard. Like, coaches don't let you smile when you're in a tight game against Charlotte.
No.
Right? You want to be on the sideline, at least able to smirk without a coach yelling at you. And the only time that's okay in college football is when you're either right after you win a game, like the triple zeros are on the clock, or if you're up by like 40. So go get up by 40. You're favored by 21. Don't make that the goal. Make that the checkpoint. Fly right through it. And by the way, if it's a one-score game, then yeah, you better buckle up. It's going to be a long season, and you're going to be exhausted by week 10, and it's only going to get more difficult from here. So I really hope we're not having that conversation on Monday. I said it was going to be a little disrespectful of Richmond. What are you going to do? They're our old rivals, so I feel okay saying it.
That's fair.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have about 5 more minutes for this hour's keyword on the City Skateaway. If you want to win the trip to Vegas, if you want to win the hockey tickets to see Carolina in Vegas, the round-trip airfare, the night stay at the Park MGM Las Vegas, the food credits, well, to get your entry for this hour, you have 5 minutes to text WIN, W-I-N. That keyword expires at 4 o'clock, so text it to 919-860-5326, like now, like right now, urgency text. WIN is the keyword. 919-860-5326 is the number to text it to. We'll have a new keyword in the 4 o'clock hour, so you could get 2, right? And text it in now, stick around, listen for the next hour. You'll get 2 entries into the Sin City Skateaway. WIN, keyword, last few minutes for it. 919-860-5326 is the number. Football at 4 is coming up next. The Carolina Panthers on the road in the desert against the Cardinals. What do you need to see from Bryce Young in the offense? Stick around.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Gorgeous afternoon out there. Humidity is dropping. Sunshine's out there. We'll see a high of 82. Could be some patchy fog and low cloud cover overnight tonight. We'll drop down to 59. And a real pretty weekend in our forecast. A little cooler Saturday with highs at near 80 degrees. Partly cloudy with warmer temperatures in the mid to upper 80s on Sunday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 252 points to 45,855. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for football at 4 here on The Drive. Every show, right about this time, we talk pigskin. Set your watch by it. Bryce Young and that offense for Carolina. And I am talking more about the offense just to set the table here because I think we expected the defense to have speed wobbles. Right, I've talked a lot about how since Dan Morgan and Dave Canales have taken over, they've taken a lot of resources, and instead of spending them on defense, at times they've taken them away from spending on defense to spend on the offense, right? Both first-round picks, receivers. Obviously, Brian Burns was moved, and a lot of that money spent on interior offensive linemen. There's a contract for Chuba Hubbard. There's draft picks on tight ends. There's a lot of resources have been used on the offense. So my expectations for improvement are greater for the offense than the defense, right? To whom much is given, much is expected. And they've given a lot of draft capital and free agency funds and money and everything else to the offense. So what does success look like for the offense against the Cardinals, which needs to be a big jump in play and production from week 1, which was rough, to week 2? Well, focusing in on Bryce, confidence. Good, quick, instinctual decisions that look like he knows what he's seeing and he is reacting to it. And the reason why I bring this up is, does anybody remember what happened last year, week 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what happened immediately after last year, week 2? Benched.
Yep.
Bryce Young was benched after week 2 of last year. Rough game 1, turnover early, couple of turnovers, followed up by a rough game 2, and guess what? Then he sat on the bench for a while. So now going into this year, what happened in week 1? Rough game 1, turnover early, multiple turnovers, going on the road to Arizona for game 2. Those ghosts are real. Right? Those thoughts are real. I'm feeling deja vu is real. So the hard part is he needs to play better without worrying too much about what happens if he doesn't play better. It's ironically the actions version of one of my rules for quarterbacking. Like if I were a quarterback's coach, and it's why I could never be a quarterback's coach because I couldn't do it to him, is when I bench a quarterback, they would have to be the absolute last person to find out about it. I could be talking to the other coaches going, yeah, if he has another bad game, I think we're going to have to go in a different direction. As soon as that quarterback walks in, hey, man, long leash. No problem, man. We've got your back. Just go out there and let it fly. Nothing to worry about. Because I think that's the mindset you need to play good quarterback, right? You can't be thinking, if I throw an interception here, I'm going to get benched. Because that leads to hesitation. That leads to conservative play calling or play execution. That leads towards not believing what you're seeing. I'm pretty sure I can make this throw, but what if I'm missing the safety? This is the part that nobody ever really acknowledges. Turnovers are awful. They're the worst, right? Coaches will tell you turn the ball over, you can't win. Turnovers are just horrendous. But too far on the other spectrum is bad as well. Too far on the other side of the spectrum, I should say, is bad as well. I haven't played football in over a decade. I can guarantee with 100% certainty that I could go play for the Panthers on Sunday and we would not have a single turnover that would be my fault. The issue would be we would also not move the ball at all and we would go 3 and out almost 100% of the time. Right? I would be one read, and if it's not wide open, I'm chucking that bad boy in the stands. Or I'm eating it, and I'm taking the sack with 2 hands on the ball, protecting it in the fetal position. Like you can guarantee no turnovers. That is also a problem. Right? Because you can't be successful as a football player without cutting it loose to a certain extent. I actually think at times Caleb Williams struggles with this. Where Caleb Williams, if you look at his touchdown to interception ratio over his last, 12 games for the Bears, it's insane. He's 13 or 14 touchdown passes, 1 interception, and they're 1-11, something like that. Because he's not putting it into place where his offense can actually be successful. He's just preventing the horrendous turnovers. That can't be Bryce this week. So I need him to, cut it loose. But also, it's football and it's NFL quarterback. There's no place to hide. I need you to cut it loose and not turn it over.
Yeah, you can play aggressive but not reckless. You can play fast but not frantic. There is a difference between the two. I remember when I used to coach lacrosse, it was the same thing I used to tell my players all the time. Look, fast is not frantic. Aggressive isn't just, coach said be aggressive. I'm just going to wing this one, even though there's a group of people around the person I'm intending to throw this pass to. No. That's reckless. There's a difference between the two.
And it's
a very fine line.
It comes from trusting yourself. It comes from preparation. It comes from knowing what you're seeing. Right? And it comes from also the opposite, acknowledging when you're confused. Right? I call it dropping the marionette because I name all my observations. I don't even know what they're called. The puppets, I think they're marionettes. But the ones where you pull the string on the bottom and they stand up straight, and then you let go of the string and they collapse. You know what I'm talking about? I used to, at the end of their careers, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, they would very quickly recognize, whoa, don't know what this is. And they would basically, it's like you drop that string. They would just collapse on themselves and take a sack. Or, a 3-step drop out of the gun. As soon as that back foot plants, throw it away into the stands. And it was because they could so quickly recognize, whoop, I'm confused. Chuck it away, right? I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not going to mess up. That's fine. But then also they would drop back a few times and go, I know exactly what this is. I'm going deep. You need both ends of the spectrum. Like I said, you could throw it away every play. Guarantee yourself no interceptions. You're also not going to move the ball. So Bryce Young and this offense, and it also comes from play callers, they also have to I mean, this is going to sound the most Captain Obvious thing in the world. They also have to be a good offense. Because I was thinking, the question I wanted to answer with this segment, and you guys can all answer this exact question in our YouTube comments if you'd like. You can send it to me on Twitter at Donnelly Sports. YouTube live stream, 99.9 The Fan. Search for it. Jump in there with the comments. One of the questions I wanted to answer today was, what is success for Bryce? What does he have to do on Sunday against the Cardinals that would make us come in here on Monday's show and say, heck of a game by Bryce? And my first thought was, my instinct was to say, well, he can't turn the ball over at all. And that's what sparked me on this whole thing of, I actually think that handcuffed him at times last year. In game 2, I bring this example up all the time. The one where he froze.
Yep.
Froze, 3rd down, froze, pushed him out of field goal range. Just tensed up, and you could see it, like everything just went, just tightened. And you either got to cut it loose or throw it away. You got to run. You got to do something. But you could feel him being so afraid of making a mistake that his feet stopped, cement, his upper body motionless, and it was just weird.
Remember that second week against the Chargers, the game you're referring to? He didn't throw a pass more than 10 yards downfield. That's literal fact.
You still have to play football, right? And when you lose your confidence, that goes away. Right? I talk about hunting completions. I talk about taking the check down as many times as you need to. You still got to look at the route, right? You still have to decide if the check down is the right call. I have no problem with taking the check down every single play if the defense keeps dropping off and you're having success with the check down. Do it over and over and over again. But if there are guys open downfield and they're the first read, the second read, and you are so afraid of making a mistake that you check it down anyway, that's going to be just as detrimental as anything else. So I like the trust that we talk about. Not only Bryce and Bryce within himself, but does Dave Canales trust Bryce? I have very, very, very strong questions about whether that trust is really flowing in either direction. I'm not sure Bryce trusts the play calls coming in. I'm not sure Canales is calling the best plays that he can dream up because he doesn't think Bryce can answer them. He doesn't think Bryce can execute them. So this offense, it's not just about preventing the, oh, no, that's a horrendous play. This offense also has to be about chasing the good plays. And the Cardinals, especially when you catch the Cardinals early in the season, their offense is going to make some plays against the Panthers defense. It does seem like they always start like 6-2, and then Kyler gets some nagging injury, and then they finish 8-9. But early in the season, they're good. And if Marvin Harrison Jr. builds off of a solid game that he had in week 1, which could be a part of a breakout sophomore year, which happens a lot with wide receivers, if Trey McBride continues to be as talented and as difficult of a matchup as he's been at tight end, they're going to score. This is not a game where the offense comes in with, hey, as long as we scored 17 points, we got a shot here. This is a game where you go in understanding, hey, we got to count by sevens, right? We got to execute. We got to get to 28, 30-plus points because there's a good chance their offense is going to put that up. So I need Bryce to, like, and it's a lot. Don't get me wrong. Playing quarterback in the NFL is a lot. So I'm not saying it's easy. But he needs to be aggressive and prevent turnovers. He can't just prevent turnovers, and he can't just be wildly and erratically aggressive because obviously that could lead to turnovers. Simple things. Like if you're going to tuck it and run, don't fumble the ball on a weak hit. Simple things like if you're rolling and you can tuck it and run, don't force it to a player who has a defensive player on his back and breaking hard on the ball. Like simple things. And by the way, not every turnover is the same. Do you see what they did in the NBA?
What's
that? With the field goal percentage?
Oh, yeah, I did see this. I hate it.
So for those of you that aren't paying attention to the NBA right now in the middle of September, they have made it so if you shoot a heave at the end of a quarter, shoot like a half-court shot, three-quarter court shot, it doesn't count towards the player's individual stats. So it's not a missed shot, a missed three, if you catch it with 2 seconds left and you throw it 70 feet and you clank it off the rafters. There are people that just don't like it because it's obviously you're just worried about your individual stats and you're suggesting that players weren't doing the thing that's best for their team in order to prevent their missed field goals. I kind of think...
But if you make it, it counts for you, though. That's the thing, yeah.
It should just be a team bucket. But anyway, I kind of think on Hail Marys they should only count as like half interceptions. Just because at the end of the year we judge quarterbacks so harshly on their touchdown to interception ratio, and A Hail Mary interception is not made the same as I threw it into the linebacker's chest because I didn't get the read right at the 20-yard line interception.
I feel like that stuff evens out, though, because there are plenty of times where you throw it into the linebacker's chest and he just drops it. So I feel like that stuff does even itself out.
It's just, my point is, if I don't want to set myself up to be like, if Bryce has any turnovers, it's awful, and on Monday we're going to roast him, because there's turnovers that are good, right? If you know you got to be aggressive, there's 15 seconds, you got to get in field goal range before half, and you throw an arm punt and it's intercepted and no harm, no foul. I don't count that as bad as what we saw last week. So it's a bit wishy-washy, but I need him to be aggressive. I need him to attack downfield, and I need him to not turn the ball over. And he's the former number 1 overall pick, so I don't think I'm being too aggressive in my ask. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I am going to be much, much more kind with my request of all of you. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. For number 1 overall picks, I ask the world. For all of the rest of us, I like to keep it easy. I don't want to make your life hard. I want to make it easier. So how about you call Maynard Service Company to come check out your heating? Your heating system, check out the whole thing. It's like grabbing a physical, right? Once a year, you want to just get everything checked out, make sure everything's working right. Well, you're about to be running your heater a bunch, right? It's about to get cold. Football season's here. That's what happens. Hoodie weather's on the horizon. And that means call up Maynard Service Company, get them to come check out your heating system. And if there's any red flags, any things you need to tune up, they'll take care of it. And that way, when it is hoodie season and beyond, when it becomes jacket and hat season, you don't have to worry about your heating not being there when you get home after a long, cold day. And it's not just heating. They work on your cooling system, your plumbing, your electrical. They are a do-it-all service company that services the entire Triangle, all of Wake County, and 50 miles in any direction from Wake County, and 24/7 service for the emergency calls when you need them. Maynard Service Company, the phone number, 919-8. Sorry, almost gave you our phone number. 919-361-0993. That is 919-361-0993. Can you imagine someone calling? Dennis picks up, and they're like, quick, my ceiling is dripping. Would you like to go on air and talk about the Panthers? Maynard Service Company, 919. This is the number to bookmark. 361-0993. The website, MaynardServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Immediately after this break, the next keyword in our Sin City Skateaway, and we get to the ladder challenge. So if you want to win a trip to Vegas, or you want to find out who's winning between me and Dennis, right after this break, you want to be listening to 99.9 The Fan.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. All the best teams, all the cool traditions, and all the touchdowns.
From the 9, snap, Bailey, handoff, Smothers, breaks a tackle now at the 5, makes a cut up the middle, touchdown! Hollywood Smothers scores again! 34-31 Pack!
College football on The Fan is powered by Roofworks and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford.
One last exhale. Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Did you know that for 20 years, Lenovo has been shaping global innovation right here in our backyard? As we celebrate 2 decades of delivering groundbreaking technology, we want to thank North Carolina for being at the heart of our story. Cheers to the next 20 years together.
My girlfriend is vegan. Sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you that. I assume she's already told you. I'm not going to make jokes about vegan food. I think it would be tasteless.
If you like fast-paced, edgy one-liners, then get ready. Jimmy Carr is going back on tour with his brand new show, Jimmy Carr Laughs Funny. D-PAC Friday, September 26th. Don't miss Jimmy Carr's new hour of stand-up comedy. Get tickets now at dpacnc.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code MOVE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code MOVE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The second piece is brevity of communication. So coupling the tempo of getting in and out of the huddle, the tempo of getting the play called is not adding fluff in our communication. So that kind of couples with a trust that your teammates know what they're doing. So it's all kind of tied in together, but really urgency and brevity.
I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Oh, Brad Idzik. And the dude. Brad Idzik, the first piece of audio you heard there, hopefully you all recognize the Big Lebowski in the second piece of audio. But the first piece of audio was Brad Idzik, the offensive coordinator of the Panthers, discussing the procedure and the communication that needs to speed up based on week one for the Panthers. And in total ironic fashion, he used about a minute to say, we need to stop using so many words in communication.
He used 50 seconds to explain how they can be faster with a 40-second play clock.
Brevity of communication is that if this season doesn't work out for the Panthers, if they don't turn it around, I'm pointing to the brevity of communication lecture as part of the reason. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get started on the ladder challenge, I did promise you a key word in our Sin City Skateaway, and it's time. Sin City Skateaway. Starting this past Monday, we've been giving away giving out a keyword every hour from noon to 6 every weekday. With today rounding out the week, we're going to do it again next week. So each day there's 6 opportunities to hear a keyword on 99.9 The Fan during the Adam Gold Show and this one. You hear the keyword, you text it in before the start of the next hour, and that each time you do it is an entry into the Sin City Skateaway. Each entry gives you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas, T-Mobile Arena on October 20th. Pretty sweet hockey game. Round-trip airfare for 2 to Vegas. 3-night stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino in Vegas. And a $400 food credit to spend while you're in Vegas. Don't miss your shot at the Ultimate Hockey Getaway, brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. The key word for this hour is net. N-E-T. Net. Text in net to 919-860-5326. Text net. That's the keyword. That's all you have to say. You don't need to say anything else. Just net to 919-860-5326. You text that in. You gain the entry. It might win you a trip to Vegas for a hockey game. And everything else that Vegas has to offer. So again, the keyword for this hour, that is good till 5. At 5, it will expire, and you will not be able to get it back unless you have a time machine, which you don't. So, net, keyword, text it to 919-860-5326. That's one you could win, right? You could win a trip. Well, now we get to see who's winning in the ladder challenge between Dennis and I. Ladder challenge time. We roll over our winnings. We roll over our stake. We try to slowly increase our bets, our bankroll, simply by winning likely to win bets. We're testing our abilities. It's Dennis versus me. We started with $10. By the end of the month, whoever has the most money wins. If you get one wrong, you go back to $10. Dennis, how'd it go for you last night?
Went quite well yesterday. I had Jordan Love 180 total yards between passing and rushing yesterday. He had that about early in the second quarter.
He's a good player.
So, yeah, I'm up to $14.78 now.
Have you heard the age 27 stat for the Packers?
I have not.
So, Brett Favre, gunslinging quarterback, doesn't start as a rookie, but eventually ends up in Green Bay, age 27, wins a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, gunslinging quarterback, doesn't start right away, eventually becomes a starter with the Packers. Guess what? Age 27, wins a Super Bowl. Jordan Love, gunslinging quarterback, doesn't start right away. Guess who turns 27 before this upcoming Super Bowl?
Go on.
Jordan Love. How funny would that be if I was like Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, right.
Did all of that and Bo Nix. No, this is his age 27 postseason. So if history proves it true, the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Then they're going to have elite quarterback play from Jordan Love for another decade. They won't win anymore. And then there will be a messy divorce as they get the next guy in, and he'll win the Super Bowl when he's 27. We'll see. There's only one way to find out. For me last night, I am a big Packers believer this year, and I was not a fan, but I do think Jordan Love is very good. So in my full Costanza betting strategy, I take the team that I think is really good and I think is going to play really well, and I bet against them, and it worked out fine. I had the Commanders plus 17.5, teased it all the way down, and in my full Costanza deal, they only lost by whatever it was, 9. So had plenty of space, plenty of wiggle room. That's a winner. I'm up to $20.30. For tonight, or this weekend, I should say, I'm continuing full Costanza. I'm trying to think of what bet I would make, and then because that would probably be wrong because I was on a cold streak, I'm going with the exact opposite. So I have a rule, and I've said this on air so you guys can back me up, at least those of you that listen all the time, which thank you. I have a rule. I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Right? I had the rule for Brady for a long time. I don't bet against them. It doesn't mean I always have to bet for them, but I don't bet against them. Because, you can only be wrong so many times before you're like, I feel dumb giving up my money. So what am I doing when I'm going full Costanza? When I'm doing exactly the opposite of what I would normally do? Betting against Mahomes. I'm able to tease the Eagles to a plus 12.5 underdog. So they just need to keep it within 12.5 of the Chiefs, and I will be a big winner. Minus 890, which turns my $20.30 into $22.58 if it hits. As long as the Chiefs don't absolutely blow out the Eagles, I'm doing okay. Betting against Mahomes, which doesn't feel good, but that's the whole point of going full Costanza.
Okay.
So that's where I am. Where are you for the weekend, Dennis?
I'm going to go Panthers Cardinals this weekend. Give me the Cardinals scoring over 16.5 points in this one.
So you hate
17 or more.
You hate Derek Brown? That's what I hear.
No, I just think the Panthers defense stinks.
Think J.C. Horn is terrible? I hear you.
No, just their defense as a whole stinks.
It's going to keep putting words in your mouth.
That's fine. Minus 650 is the line on that one for the Cardinals to score 17 or more points. So my 1478 will turn into 1705.
Even with the perhaps chance that the young guys play? Nick Scorton, Princely Umanmielen, Lathan Ransom, if they play like 50% of the snaps, you still think it's a bad one?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see if they actually play, but there are rumors that they might get a chance. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the ladder challenge. We'll check back in on Monday to see who has the lead. And we'll be right about the midway point of the month next week here, so we'll see how it goes. Now, it is time for a little Panthers Pawprint action. Panthers Pawprint for today as we dive into the Panthers Pawprint. The question is, who is under the most pressure for the Carolina Panthers this weekend? Who is under the most pressure? See what I did there? Pressure? Sir, pressure. Dennis, we each have an answer to this question. Why don't you go ahead and lead off? I'm interested to hear.
There's about 900 people I think I could list in when it comes to this.
That's why it has to be most. It's not who's under pressure. If it was who's under pressure, we'd need another
It'd
couple
be a
hours.
lot.
We need a couple hours.
Under the most pressure, Ejiro Evero. The defense was given this offseason second, third, fourth, and fifth round picks to the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the signing of Turk Wharton, the signing of Trayvon Merrick. You got Derek Brown back.
Patrick Jones.
Pat Jones also signed as well. There's a lot of new pieces over there. Why did the defense look exactly the same in week 1 as it did pretty much all last season? It's the 7th game they've given up 200-plus rushing yards as a team. 7th. Let's not forget last year that against the Arizona Cardinals, granted you did win in overtime, you still gave up over 200 yards rushing in that one too. So yeah, Ejiro Evero, are you actually going to fix the defense? Are you actually going to put them in positions to succeed? Prove it.
We've had this conversation about Evero's defense really off and on for years now, that he believes in a system, and rather than tailoring his play calls or his scheme to the strengths of the players, he tries to go find or tries to take the players and force them into the roles he needs for his system, which does make it so almost like no matter who you hire, it looks similar. You'd hope just with better players it would get better rather than different. It's like a quality rather than schematic difference. But the other side is when it looks bad, it looks like the same bad that it was before. So it's like, what changes took place? It's a good one. And obviously, I've talked about it. We've talked about it. He is one of the more replaceable pieces just because you feel like you can pick him out and it's not going to leave like damage around, right? Which if you were to change the offense, that impacts the head coach and that impacts a bunch. If you remove Bryce, that impacts like there's a bunch of other things that if you change it, more whole scale changes. So if they're looking for different, Evero kind of makes sense, and I'm sure doesn't want that. My most pressure, and this was a conversation I was going to have before I even knew what the question we were asking on the Pawprint was. I'm putting Dan Morgan in the spotlight this weekend.
Ooh, okay.
GM.
All right.
What did Dan Morgan say? Almost like first thing out of his mouth when he was named the GM 2 off seasons ago.
Alignment?
There was a lot of alignment. There was also dogs, right?
That too.
He wanted dogs. He wanted to fill the roster with dogs. He wanted to go find dogs. When he talks positively about a player, he's a dog. He's a guy that fits our culture. We're looking for dogs. DOWGS, right? Like dogs. Well, I think the archetype, the personality that we would consider a football player that is a dog fights back with reckless aggression, right? When they get punched in the mouth, when they have a bad game, the next game is going to be where you see that aggression come out. Have we seen the fight you'd expect from dogs with this Carolina Panthers core? Almost this entire roster now has either been chosen by Dan Morgan and his crew. You just brought up a bunch of the new faces. Both offenses and defensively, though, a lot of them have been chosen by Dan Morgan and his crew, or co-signed and kept by Dan Morgan and his crew, right? Given extensions or brought back. After a game like the loss to Jacksonville, we should see that mentality. Offensive line should be mauling the defense, finishing blocks. Defense should be headhunting. Like actually, the safeties are a perfect example, and I hope we see Lathan Ransom play more. But Merrick and Ransom as the 2 incoming safeties that they spent real resources on, right? A 4th-round pick on Ransom and whatever it ends up being, like $17 million a year on Merrick. You chose hitters over guys with coverage reputations, right? These guys are not in the, at least reputation-wise, in the center fielder version of safeties. They are in the, if you need to, they can put on 20 pounds, go play linebacker versions of safeties, right? They want to come down and be physical. Well, let's see it. Trey McBride's a big dude. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a big dude, right? The Cardinals are going to try to run at you. I want to see this team basically prove to me that Dan Morgan knows how to pick a dog. Because if he doesn't, if you have I think it was the old Coastal Carolina coach from like 20 years ago where he's like, we need dogs, not kitty cats. We need dogs. That guy is hilarious. And I'm not going to do the whole thing, but if you haven't seen it, you should. If it turns out that they're the not dog version of that dichotomy, then I think Dan Morgan has to answer for some of that. Because when you build your whole culture around, we're going to have this specific type of person and player in our locker room, and 2 years in, you've turned over most of the locker room, and you don't have that. It just shows that, maybe the roster isn't fit for what you're trying to do. So I want to see some fight. I want to see some dogs. I mean, anyone that's heard – there it is. Anyone that's heard, like, Steve Smith Sr. on the broadcast talk about the team, and he's just like, right there. Now we got to fight. Like, he's always just saying stuff like that. And you get the vibe of, the best Panther teams had that. They had the guys that were just like, nope, right now, here we go. Disrespect, ice up, son. Like, that was just there. I'm not sure this team has it, despite the fact that it appears to be priority number one in how they assemble a roster. So there's the Panthers Pawprint, everybody. Thank you for coming along with the ride.
By the way, speaking of the Panthers this weekend, Carolina Ale House in Garner, Victoria Vodenecker, the producer of the Adam Gold Show, which you can listen to from noon to 3, will be at the Carolina Ale House in Garner for the Panthers watch party. I was at the one in North Raleigh off Falls of Church this past Sunday. Got to meet a lot of listeners that were there. It was very much an enjoyable time. But if you want to go watch Panthers or just football in general, enjoy some good food on Sunday, meet up with Victoria. She's going to be at the Carolina Ale House. Again, a 4 o'clock kickoff for the Panthers. But Panthers watch party at Carolina Ale House will be at the Garner location this coming Sunday. Victoria will be there.
Shout out to Victoria. Also this weekend taking place, Duke's playing Tulane.
They are.
Down there in the Bayou, which is a homecoming for Darian Mensah. Darian Mensah was the quarterback at Tulane last year, transfers to Duke. Just so happens that week 3 of his year at Duke, they are going back to his old stomping grounds. This is a big game for Duke. We can and we have and we probably will talk about the Darian Mensah part of this, but also Duke came into this year with expectations, right? Duke was they've been a 9-win team, an 8-win team, a 9-win team in the last 3 years, or vice versa. They've had at least 8 wins in each of the last 3 seasons. They had multiple All-Americans on preseason lists. You're talking about Chandler Rivers, the corner, Brian Parker, the second, the offensive lineman. They spent handsomely in the transfer portal. Their defensive line looked good. Manny Diaz, their head coach, is known for putting great defenses together. They came into this year hoping to take a step up. Game 1, speed wobbles, right? Wasn't perfect for the entire time, but they end up beating Elon by a bunch. Darian Mensah throws for almost 400 yards. So, positive vibes. They lost to Illinois 45-19 last week. And it wasn't that bad if you watched it. Like, it didn't feel like they were losing by darn near,
It got away.
But, at the end, whoa. Like, where did it happen quick?
14-13 at half.
That escalated quickly. It was one of those games. But still, 45-19 is that's serious. It's a little shaky, right? That could shake you up. That might allow the devil on your shoulder, not making a Blue Devil joke, right? Just the angels and devils on your shoulder, could make the devil on your shoulder lean forward and go, are you actually as good as you thought you were? 45-19? That's a team. That's a squad that belongs in the top 15 in the country. I don't know. Now you get a road game at Tulane, which is a perfect situation to rattle that confidence even more. Why? Because when you looked at your schedule a year ago, you probably did say, all right, Tulane, that's one we should win. Tulane's favored in this. I'm surprised by it because I'm high on Duke, and I remain high on the talent that Duke has. But Tulane opened as a 2.5-point favorite, now 1.5. Now, the social element of Darian Mensah going back to Tulane is interesting, going up against guys that know him well, going up against coaches that know him well, and vice versa, right? He went up against that defense in practice all the time, so you would think he knows their tendencies well as well. That's interesting. But how about just this from a team-building standpoint? In college football, If you pay $4 million per year, reportedly, to take a team's best player from that team, and then you play that team and they are favored against you, what does that say? I'd be surprised if Tulane's whole roster makes $4 million. And the reports are that Duke is paying Darian Mensah $4 million per year. That is a brutal glass of water to the face. Duke should take that personally. And they should go down there as much as they can on a business trip. There's going to be a lot of storylines. There's going to be a lot of narratives. There's going to be a lot of things. Keep your headphones on when you're on the bus, right? No distractions. When you get to the game, be ready to play because Tulane's not a scrub. I still think Duke should win. But if you show up and you're in your own head about something or your confidence is rattled or you're thinking about the Illinois game or whatever, they'll catch you. And then you get to the Darian Mensah part of it. And I brought this up the other day. It's brand new. It's crazy how much I played college football. The last year was 2012, so we're looking at like 13 years, 14 years, something like that. It's crazy how my experience is just so completely different to what the players have to deal with now. Darian, and by the way, I played at the FCS level, so it's completely different than what ACC players are dealing with. But Darian Mensah has a nice couple of zeros in his bank account, right? Or at least on the way. I don't know how the NIL gets paid out. He has a net worth that is pretty darn impressive for somebody his age. And it is completely a fair assumption that I don't want to say owes, it's not like he has to pay them back, but he was aided in his building of value by a lot of the people over on that Tulane sideline, right? He doesn't get the offers that he gets if he and his Tulane teammates don't work together to have a really successful season last year. And now he's playing against them. It's complicated. It is very complicated. Duke at Tulane, I said it earlier, this is the most of maybe any game in college this weekend. Win by any means necessary. If your defense lights it up and you win 14-13, great. If you need Darian Mensah to throw for 350 again, which is basically what he's averaging per game, go win a shootout, whatever it takes. By any means necessary, Duke has to win this one because they got NC State next week, and State's watching this one with very interested eyes because they played last night and already got the win. If Duke wants to be what they hope to be, if they want to raise that level, if they want to break through that glass ceiling, this is a darn near must-win.
Yeah, you don't want to lose this one, then potentially lose the next week. You're 1-3 to start the year.
I mean, 1-2 doesn't sound great.
No, it doesn't.
With a losable and winnable game the next week. It's a tough one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Your season, your shot. We are firmly in the football weekend, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, football all the time. Your season is rolling. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. If you're looking at touchdown scores for this weekend, how about this? Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields, they're old college buddies. They're playing together now with the Jets against the Bills. The Bills got lit up on defense, right? Lamar Jackson was lighting them up on Sunday Night Football. Maybe they're not the best unit in the world, and you got college teammates on the other side looking to link up. If Garrett Wilson scores, it's plus 205. It's also, as I've been saying a lot, the year of the quarterback rushing touchdown. Josh Allen, minus 130. Justin Fields, plus 150. Plus money on Justin Fields to score. He had 2 of them in week 1. Those are just some of the options. Head to DraftKings Sportsbook for more. And remember that lines and odds are subject to change. New customers, I have a special offer for you as well. New customers to DraftKings, you can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly, plus score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD D with no spaces. And you will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to one of my favorite segments of the week. Real, bold predictions. Next.
Finally.
Yes, finally. There's an app for 99.9 The Fan.
Finally.
Listen to your favorite hosts, your teams, and live sports action.
Touchdown, Philadelphia. They're destroying the Chiefs.
And every podcast episode at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
The Lumineers. The Automatic World Tour, September 16th at Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Raleigh. With special guest, Chance Pena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. The Lumineers pick up their new album, Automatic, out now.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. People are looking around their homes right now, and they're saying, I need this, I need this, I need this. You guys do everything for the exterior of your home. How do you keep it from being overwhelming for the homeowner?
Right, Adam. The first thing we do is we come out there, do an assessment with the homeowner. It's a no-obligation estimate, and we can break it up into phases of projects, or if you want to break it up into easy monthly payments, we come out there, give you a good plan. It's no pressure, no obligation, and whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, most of these projects we give you a lifetime warranty on for the rest of your time in the home. And then you can also break it up into easy monthly payments and make it manageable for your budget.
I love manageable. I love easy monthly payments. I love lifetime warranties. Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. These people are amazing. You should check them out online, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. About 14 more minutes for net to work as a keyword in our Sin City Skateaway. So if you haven't done so yet for this 4 to 5 o'clock hour, text NET, N-E-T, to 919-860-5326. If you do that before 5 o'clock, you will get an entry into the Sin City Skateaway. You can end up with round-trip airfare, 3-night stay, food credits, and tickets to see Carolina and Vegas play hockey out there on October 20th. That's all in Vegas, and it would be all on us if you're the winner, but you can't win if you don't throw your hat in the ring. So text NET, N-E-T, to 919-860-5326 before 5 o'clock, and listen to the 5 o'clock hour here on 99.9 The Fan of The Drive, because we're going to give you another keyword, and that will be your last chance for this week to gain an entry. We'll do it all over again from noon to 6, Monday through Friday next week. But for this week, your last chance, the 5 o'clock hour, coming up here in a little bit. Now let's play a little real bold predictions. The only place in sports where we certify, we authenticate our bold predictions. And we do so with the not bold enough buzzer and the bold enough bell. Bold enough ding, I guess might be the better term. Basically, if I get the not bold enough buzzer, I have to make it bolder on the spot until we get the appropriate bold enough sound. Let's start. I'm looking towards UNC against Richmond to start. I'm putting Jordan Shipp 2 touchdowns versus Richmond. There it is. Could I have gotten by with like 80 yards and a touchdown?
80 yards and a touchdown, no.
Okay, all right. I was thinking about starting there, but I thought, first offer, best offer, let's get a deal. Let's get moving. Let's get a good vibe. Let's get that bell warmed up. I think Shipp is the most obvious talent on the offense for UNC. Right? When you watch the tape, he's the one that most obviously pops. And that's no disrespect to Cullivert, who is also a big play guy, but and has been for a while at UNC. But his skill set more lends, I don't want to say one trick, but it's like he's an obvious deep threat. Shipp seems like a more well-rounded talent at wide receiver, just off the first couple of games that we've seen. So I think they feature him to get Gio Lopez going against Richmond. They pepper Shipp with some targets. You know what? Let's just stay on a very similar bet, very similar pick, but move up a level. Tetero McMillan, 2 touchdowns versus the Cardinals. And I will say that occasionally my predictions here are more like putting it into the universe and hoping. But as much as I want like the actual touchdowns to happen, I want Brad Idzik and Dave Canales taking a significant portion of their prep, like more than one meeting, multiple hours, on drawing up different ways to get Tetero and McMillan targets in the red zone. If the Panthers get the ball on the 15-yard line, 1st and 10, and they don't have multiple options to use Tetero and McMillan's ability to make contested catches, his size, his catch radius, to help them get in the end zone, I will be wildly frustrated. So I'm looking for Tetero and McMillan to be a big part of the red zone, and I want him to continue being a big part of the red zone.
I would like to just see the offense score 2 touchdowns.
Hey. Well, it's bold. It's got to be bold, right?
I know.
If I would have said the Panthers offense will struggle,
yeah.
Got to be bold. So you got to go with the success. All right, let's jump around. Let's jump around a little bit here. We'll go with a former UNC quarterback.
Okay.
Drake May.
Right.
4 total touchdowns versus the Dolphins.
4 total?
Yeah, running or passing. Not like pick sixes. Like they have to be good for his team.
Yeah. The Dolphins are bad. Yeah, I'll go with this
so like, do you want me to go 5? What are we supposed to do here? Daniel Jones kind of lit up the Dolphins.
He did.
And I do think Daniel looked good. Danny Dimes looked solid. It was one of his better performances. I think the Colts are underrated with their weapons, but I also think they were aided by the defense they were up against and the calamity that was the Miami Dolphins offense. So I think Drake can utilize and do some of the things that Daniel Jones does, right? I think Drake is a step above talent-wise, but they are in the similar mold of guys that can use their legs, guys that can throw on the run, guys that played in the ACC, guys that played in North Carolina, from North Carolina. There's a lot of similarities there. So I think Drake can follow in the footsteps of old Danny Dimes and have a big day. We'll go to that Duke-Tulane game that we've been talking about. 350-plus for Darian Mensah, passing yards. I'm willing to go as high as 400 yards.
Yeah, 350. That's been the norm these first couple of weeks.
Yeah, but you hope the game flow doesn't happen the exact same as those, where, like against Elon, he had to be chucking it or against, obviously, Illinois. They got behind, and he had to be chucking it. You want him to be able to keep better control of the possession of the ball. But I do think the more and more he plays for Duke, the more and more tempting it's going to be for the coaching staff to just go, let him let it fly, right? If we can protect him, if we can get guys open, he'll find the right guy. It's going to get more and more tempting as that happens. Just needs to curtail the fumbles. All right, we'll go NFL kind of generic here. I think the Bengals beat the Jags by 10+. Bengals had 7 yards of offense in the second half last week.
I'm sorry, Joe Burrow's still their quarterback, right?
He was their quarterback when they had 7 yards of off. They barely beat the Browns.
That's fine.
You're right. Browns are really good because they got Joe Flacco. I'll go 13+.
Bengals beat the Jags by 13+? No, because the Jags still stink.
The Jags are coming off a huge win. They dominated their week 1. 15+? We're over 2 touchdowns now. This is the NFL. Spreads don't go that high. And by the way, the Bengals' offensive line wasn't good and their defense wasn't fantastic. I think this is going to be a bad omen for the Panthers. I'm not sure the Jags are that good.
No, that's the thing. They're not.
That's a rough one.
Yeah.
To get kind of manhandled by a team that I think could show some flaws pretty quickly. But I do hope the Jags win by 30, right? I hope they're one of the best teams in the entire league because that means that loss maybe wasn't as bad for the Panthers. A couple of generic college ones, and then we'll get out of here. Georgia Tech beats Clemson. I don't know. Doesn't that feel like a game that Georgia Tech is just going to try to muddy up and is somehow going to be a one-score game, and if Haynes King can pull it off, Haynes King can pull it off?
Is he going to play?
I think he is. I think I saw that.
Okay.
I may be making that up. Don't quote me on it, but I think I saw on Twitter that they're expecting him to play.
Okay.
Again, don't quote me on that. That wasn't a report. That was I think I saw it in the ether.
Because he didn't play last week.
Correct. He dressed, though.
Yeah, which is weird.
Just like an emergency if we need someone to just hand the ball off and knows the snap cadence style of quarterback. Lastly, Wisconsin beats Alabama. It's a game you can hear here on 99.9 The Fan, by the way.
I know. I'm like, is that really bold?
One is ranked,
it's
one
at
isn't
Alabama.
Ranked. They're big favorites.
Yeah, but we've seen unranked beat ranked before. I need a little bit more specificity on this one.
Wisconsin beats Alabama, and
give me a spike by how many here?
I'll go by at least a field goal. You're this is gonna be real bold predictions.
Yeah.
6 more than 6.
I'll go that.
I'm less excited about the pick now, but I do. I mean, Alabama. That wasn't great effort in week 1, and then they blew out a team that's no good. I'm curious to see where that goes. And if they don't win, I would tell Kalen DeBoer's family not to go on social media often.
There's that.
Just sometimes it's better to be oblivious. Ignorance is bliss on that front. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is real, bold predictions. That is not real bold predictions? I need to be real bold predictions. There you go. Speaking of really bold, how about this, everybody? Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically their Fox and Bailey watch shop, which is located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. Some of us like to be really bold. Some of you out there want all attention on you, and that's fine, right? You walk into a room, you want to be the head turner. Maybe you go with something like a two-tone pre-owned or vintage Rolex, right? You walk in there, you want everybody to know, I'm here, I've arrived, and I'm awesome. Some of you might be a little bit more understated. Maybe you go with something like a pilot's watch from Glashütte Original, where, if somebody comes up, starts talking to you, they have a watch hobby as well, they have a timepiece hobby as well, they're going to know, but you get to have that quiet conversation off to the side, and the whole room might be on a little bit more I don't know what he's got going on over there. There's something for everyone at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, whatever your personality is, whatever your activity level is. right? If you're somebody that's needs something a little bit more durable, grab maybe a dive watch or even something as durable as a G-Shock, which can go through darn near anything. Military uses it. You can use a moon watch, something that's been on the moon, or the model has been on the moon. You know what I'm saying. There's a lot of different options at the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, and I think that's pretty essential for a watch shop because what you wear on the wrist should be as unique as you are. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Follow the watch shop on Instagram at Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. You can DM them. You can ask them for the inventory updates. They are more than welcome to communicate with you. More than happy, I should say, to communicate with you as you chase your iconic watches. Let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break. When we come back, we have the starting five, and at some point in the next hour, we're going to give you the final of the week. There'll be more next week. Keyword in our Sin City Skateaway. So the next keyword is coming up in the next hour. Stick around for that.
When you crave the best in college football action, you'll find it on 99.9 The Fan.
The chance to win it for Baylor from 27 yards. Placement down, kick is up, and it's good. Baylor has come back to beat SMU in double overtime. Goss left side of the 10. Goss at the 5. Sprints to the front left corner of the end zone for 6. Davion Goss shot out of a cannon.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Men and Preserve Services.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $300 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spread, totals, player props.
$300 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. TNCs apply. In-app only.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. In just over 5 weeks with Raleigh Weight Loss Center, I'm down over 30 pounds. That's right, over 30 pounds lost thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center and their program. And here's the thing I love about the Raleigh Weight Loss Center program. Their goal is not just for you to reach a target weight. It's to reach the target weight, but also maintain that weight as well. You're not doing any injections, no shots, no HGH or steroids. It's just resetting and restarting your metabolism. That way you lose the weight in a natural way, but most importantly, keep that weight off. Visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com for your free consultation today. RaleighWeightLossCenter.com or give them a call, 919-897-7506. 919-897-7506 is the number to call, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, 919-897-7506. Get on that journey today. Results may vary.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmot. A nice afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds and comfortable temperatures. It's going to be very pleasant through this evening as well, mainly in the 70s, eventually in the 60s by about 9 o'clock tonight. And then we're down to the upper 50s tonight. Should be a nice Saturday, partly cloudy with highs near 80.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 273 points today to 45,834.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. It is Friday at 5 o'clock. Congratulations, everybody. Made it to the weekend.
Let's go.
Thank you for starting.
Let's go.
Your weekend with us here on The Drive. And as a thank you for starting your weekend with us, I'm going to give you a keyword for our City Skateaway, which could turn into a free trip to Vegas for you. Could turn into tickets to see Vegas and Carolina as the road team play hockey out there in T-Mobile Arena on October 20th. It could turn into round-trip airfare, 3-night stay at the Park MGM Las Vegas, $400 in food credit. All of that is a possibility if you text in the keyword I'm about to give you. You just have to text it in by 6 o'clock, and you get this hour's entry into the Sin City Skateaway. Don't miss your shot at the ultimate hockey getaway, brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. The word for this hour is box. B-O-X. Box is the key word. Text it in to this number, 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. Text in box and do that before 6 o'clock, and you will gain this hour's entry into the Sin City Skateaway. Now, this is the last opportunity for the week for you to gain an entry, because we do noon to 6 every hour, from noon to 6 weekdays during the Sin City Skateaway. So this entire week and all of next week. So you'll have to tune back in on Monday at noon during the noon hour on the Adam Gold Show to get the next keyword. But for right now, for the next 55 minutes, box is live. That is the keyword, and it expires at 6 o'clock. Again, the keyword box, the phone number, 919-860-5326. With that being said, hopefully you understand. I'll try to remind you again before the end of the hour, but it's in your hands. Let's get to the starting five.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
41, they heat him up. Dump off. Intercepted. Here's Isaiah Shirley, the big fella, at the 20. He breaks a tackle at the 10. Stumbling inside the 5 and scores. 41-yard pick six for the big fella. 1:19 to play first quarter. It's a defensive tackle sprint for six.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. NC State beat Wake Forest last night. They were down 14-zippy. Came back, then they were down again, then they came back again, and they end up winning by double digits. There was a fire in a food cart in the stadium. There was the final lasting image of the night was Robbie Ashford of Wake Forest throwing a pass at the nether regions of a referee.
Yeah.
Caught it right in the spot you don't want to catch it. Mm-hmm. There was Barnes, first of all, Wake Forest. We didn't talk about Wake Forest much earlier. Barnes got some wheels.
Yeah, he does.
Some absolute cannons as attached to his cleats. Returned the opening kick, also had a 70-something yard catch. That's a good day for him. And it was surprising because, at least in my studies of Wake Forest, I anticipated big plays, but I thought they would come from Damon Claiborne. I thought they might come from Robbie Ashford with his legs. But it was Barnes that provided the fireworks. But in the end, State, kind of a more complete performance than Wake Forest, ended up being the difference. Wake Forest did some things very well. They were streaky, where things would be great for half a quarter, then they'd go cold. State, offense, defense, obviously special teams had its issues. Both teams were missing kicks. Actually, there was some NFL missed kicks as well. I was watching both games at the same time. They bleed together. But shout out to a few people for State. First of all, the defense. That second half, they locked up. And I just brought up Claiborne, Ashford didn't really have the big runs with their legs that I was expecting. So shout out to them for being good assignment football players, particularly in the second half. And then offensively, there's a few people I want to highlight. We talked about him extensively. CJ Bailey was really good. Quarterback, NC State. Every game, he's grown up in front of our eyes as a quarterback. And he also has, a real whippy arm, spins it well, can run, can do it all. And Hollywood Smothers, their running back. I think he's making a pretty good argument to be one of the best running backs in the country. And then lastly, and I don't know how much this impacts it, but we talked about it before the game, and I definitely think it impacts it. Dave Doran and the fourth down decisions. He's going for it a lot, and he's putting the freshman Will Wilson, the quarterback, out there to run for first downs. He's doing it on third down, then going for it on fourth down if they don't get it. There is a certain level of excitement, of enthusiasm, of confidence. I described it earlier in the week as swag that comes with your coach having your back, believing in you to make those plays. It's not a direct A to B, but it impacts it. I don't think NC State makes the comeback that they did last night if Dave Doran hasn't been, through his decision-making, feeding them with unwavering confidence. They're down 14 zippy, and I have this image in my head of the guys on the sideline. They had the red towels. They're whipping them around, like getting excited before returning the kickoff when they're down 14-0. When some sidelines are, heads down or at least quiet, right? Nobody look happy. No, they were jacked up, ready to go complete a comeback. And there is a connection between that and the Dave Doran, what was it, Riverboat Ron? It's like Riverboat Dave. He's going for it on fourths, and his team is backing him up. They're picking it up. They're ending with touchdowns. They're making it happen. And one more name that I want to give a shout out to, Justin Jolie. I think through 2 games, they probably didn't take advantage of his talent enough. I think he's a player they can feed the ball more to, but he had 2 touchdowns yesterday, and no one's ever going to complain about your targets when you're getting paid dirt twice.
Yeah, just casually getting 2 touchdowns yesterday felt like, it's like, oh yeah, there's Jolie again.
Yeah. And then on top of that, and I told Dennis this off air earlier, there were multiple times where I was like, wow, that's a good block. Who was that? And it was Justin Jolie, which is not what I think of first for his skill set. He's big enough to be an effective blocker, don't get me wrong. But he's just such a good pass catcher, contested catch guy, run after the catch guy that I think about that first. But he was blocking his tail off yesterday as well, which coaches probably like more so than even the touchdown catches. And maybe not that. But some of the other catches that aren't touchdowns, they probably like the blocking more. Touchdowns probably take precedent. Either way, State beats Wake. Big win for NC State. Duke next week. They get a couple extra days to get ready, but that's an even bigger game. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
There's a really big game between a couple of teams in Florida, but there's a distinct local twist for here in the Triangle. USF, South Florida, is up to 18th in the rankings, and they are visiting number 5 Miami. USF, if they can pull off this upset, become one of the America's teams, right? Everybody loves an underdog. They'll have taken out top 25 ranked Boise State, followed by top 25 ranked Florida, followed by top 25 ranked, top 5 ranked Miami, if they can pull it off. Their quarterback, Rollsville High School's very own Byram Brown. That's pretty good little run for Byram Brown, but it shouldn't be wholly out of nowhere. Like, you shouldn't be wholly surprised by this. Brown has now, and this goes back to last year, thrown 240 consecutive passes without an interception. That's a school record. 2 years ago, he was one of only 2 quarterbacks in the country to throw for 3,000 or more yards and run for 800 or more yards. Do you know who the other one was? Jaden Daniels when he won the Heisman.
Oh, okay.
If you threw for 3,000 and ran for 800 in that year, you were either Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman or Byron Brown for USF. Last year he had a bunch of injuries, so it wasn't as statistically impressive. But this offseason got healthy quick. He came in, people that listen to the show know I love this list. The Athletics Freak Athlete list, he was number 42. Apparently hit 22.5 miles per hour on the GPS and squatted 600 pounds this offseason. If he has a big game against Miami, I think his hype train's going to get rolling, and Rollsville High School should be and should be bragging a bunch about their guy. Where he and Noah Rogers probably overlapped, right?
Oh, yeah, they were teammates together. I remember actually doing games for high school OT. Actually at Rollsville, and it was Byron Brown and Noah Rogers were on the same team together.
Pretty talented high school class.
Yeah, I know.
There was somebody, grinding out an AP US history class and then had to go guard Noah Rogers and come up to make a tackle on Byron Brown like 3 hours later. Good luck.
Real quick, speaking of high school OT, the game of the week tonight, Wilson Prep taking on Northeastern. Wilson Prep, as our good friend Joel Bryant from high school OT says, probably a favor to win the state in the 1A level. So our high school OT game of the night tonight.
You want to see the hype? You want to see this probably state champ? Check it out. What was that? That was 4? That's number 3.
Lopez in the pistol with Hood behind him. He will hand to him. Hood right side. Slithers through and powers home. Touchdown, Carolina. What a start for Belichick in the heel.
UNC at Richmond. Big. This is 100% you can win if you're UNC, but it's high stakes for little reward, right? It's big risk for little reward for UNC. The way it put it, someone said earlier, it might have been you, Dennis. We're not really going to learn much about UNC this weekend, are we? Right? Because they're playing an FCS opponent. Now I'm adding my own commentary here. Lost to Lehigh, struggled with Wofford. I'm talking about Richmond. So, what are we really going to learn about UNC this weekend? And my response was, well, we're not going to learn anything concrete good about the Tar Heels. But we can learn something really, really bad about the Tar Heels, right? If they go out, take care of business, they're 21-point favorites. If they win by 30, if Gio Lopez throws for a bunch of yards, if whoever the running back ends up being runs for a bunch of yards, great. No one's going to act like that's a big deal because UNC is supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do. If it's a close game late, there's going to be even more. There already is a lot of scrutiny on that program. There's going to be even more scrutiny on that program if it isn't a smooth victory for UNC. So in a weird way, they're playing high stakes because, you better win by a bunch or else disaster is a heck of a place to be. Heck of a place to be. But again, I don't think it's unfair when you're North Carolina and you're paying your coach $10 million a year and there's, I think we did the math at one point, over $40 million in investment when you include the revenue share, the staff, the all of the expenses, all that stuff. When you're investing that much in your program and you're playing an FCS opponent like Richmond, I don't think it's outlandish. I don't think it's unreasonable to say, nah, win this one by 30. If not, yeah, there's gonna be some negativity, and that's not gonna be unearned. I really want to see Gio Lopez open up his decision making.
I want to see passes over the middle by him. Really do.
Not even just over the middle. I want to see more passes to the right. He's
as well.
Very much settled into a predominantly to the left side of the field, and definitely if he's going downfield, left side of the field. Not much between the hashes, not much variety, and that's a bad enough tendency that other teams will take advantage of it. I actually saw this just side note article. Perhaps one of the reasons Clemson and Cade Klubnik are struggling is he has a very, very high tendency to escape early out of the pocket and almost always to his right. And it's allowing defenses to, set the edges hard on one side, or, we can abandon receivers on one side a bit more. Whatever it is, they're using it to their advantage. So if you have any kind of a tendency, defensive coordinators are going to do everything they can to take advantage of it. And at least as of 2 games in, it appears as if the passing offense for UNC has some tendencies, and that's not how you want it to be. So try to break all of them. Tendency breakers all over the place against Richmond. And play callers have to think about that, right? For example, actually, we'll use State. They're putting Will Wilson out there, their young quarterback, to run on 4th and short, 3rd and short. They're going to have to put some tendency breakers in. You can't just have every time he goes in, you're running a quarterback power. Eventually, he's going to have to throw a pop pass. He's going to have to do something just as a tendency breaker. Gio Lopez needs to put a lot of tendency breakers on film against Richmond to help him out to have success next week and beyond. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us. Moore running left, cuts inside, across the 25, angles right. Moore is loose. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Jacquez Moore takes it home from 32.
Duke at Tulane. There's a lot of interest here. Darian Mensah was Tulane's quarterback last year. But what is interesting about Tulane is they didn't, as many Group of 5 programs do, when one of their players is, poached. I don't know what the word, transfer portaled, we'll call it portaled, is portaled away from them to the power conference for more money. Usually those Group of 5 teams have to go, all right, well, hopefully this backup that we recruited out of high school is ready to step into a big moment, right? Hopefully they're really ready to fill the shoes of the guy that, Oklahoma just gave $10 million to, or whatever it is. Tulane didn't do that. They went and got a quarterback from BYU, Jake Retzlaff, who had BYU ranked last year and was one of the better quarterbacks on that side of the country. But then had some off-the-field stuff, led to his dismissal from BYU, or his dismissal, I don't want to say the wrong word, so take that back. His departure from BYU, and he ended up at Tulane, where he's had some highlights. He had a 69-yard touchdown run. He's playing well for Tulane. So it's not as if they went from Darian Mensah to some unproven nobody. Their offense is still putting up some statistics. So Duke's defense better be ready to roll, right? Tulane smoked Northwestern 23-3. They then squeaked it by South Alabama 33-31, which we just talked about UNC. How ironic is Tulane versus South Alabama, a.k.a. the Gio Lopez team from last year against the Darian Mensah team from last year. They went from that game to UNC and Duke. Must-win-ish game. I'm not a full stamp it must-win game, but close to it for Duke this year. 1-2 after all their expectations is a rough spot, and you're looking at NC State next week. State's going to have a couple of extra days to prepare. Taking care of business against Tulane, even though they're favored, Tulane is favored, is quintessential for Duke. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Need more speeches, man. We need to go in and just go in and put the work in. No speeches needed. People said things after the game, but like I said, man, we're gonna go in and get back to work together.
Panthers at Cardinals. Late afternoon game on Sunday, by the way, everybody. Panthers are they're on the West Coast, or in the western part of the league, so they will be in that 4 o'clock, 4:05 or 4:25, whatever.
It's a 4:05 kick.
For this Sunday.
Listen to it on Mix 101.5.
There you go. Dennis, I want to just spend a couple of minutes here talking about the Panthers defense. The story of this week for the defense has been the mixed messaging at times of the young guys playing, right? Because Nick Scorton, Princely Umanmielen, Cam Jackson wasn't even active for the rookie draft picks in the front 7. And then Lathan Ransom in the secondary didn't play very much. If they do, and Turk Wharton's hurt, right? So
yeah, he's hamstring injury.
So there's reps to be earned in the front 7. I want to see like a I don't even know what the right word is. Not obedient. I want to see a defensive coaching staff that hears, even if it's not a direct mandate behind the scenes, hears what Dave Canales is trying to tell them and executes it by giving those young guys a chance to make plays. Right? If there's some advanced analytics out there about Nick Scorton's get-off, like his ability to explode at the snap and get upfield quickly, that show he might have something there. There might be something elite there. And that particular skill set is not one that the Panthers can afford to put on the bench and not take advantage of. If somebody has track sprinter coming out of the block explosion, that guy has to be on the field because they need pressure on the quarterback. Trevor Lawrence really, was setting up a picnic back there at times. Now, granted, after he finished his sandwich and had some fruit, finished his picnic, a lot of times he airmailed the ball over his intended target, which was fortunate for the Panthers. But if you give Kyler all day, he'll find his targets, right? Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison Jr. So I guess my question is, do you think we will actually see the young guys get out there and have the opportunity to make plays, or is that just all talk midweek and then it's still going to be Evero leaning on the veterans?
They better. Here's the thing. They better, because otherwise your defense was obviously one of the worst historically last year.
Mm-hmm.
You brought in all these veteran guys and you signed free agency, like you said, but you also used all this draft capital. If your defense still isn't good and you're parking these young guys on the bench, well, you're just wasting their time and yours. Really, you're wasting your own asset if you're not using it. It's like parking my motorcycle in the driveway and just letting it sit there. There's no. What good is it? And what good is it just to sit there in the driveway? You got to actually use these guys.
This is, first of all, the NFL is always different than what I'm going to describe. But also, this past offseason is when I believed the Panthers should be changing to pedal on the floor, go win now, right? It's no longer rebuild. It's you got your quarterback, you got your number one target, you paid your big money defensive players, you everything is kind of in place. It's time to go. It's different than a college team playing a bunch of freshmen with the anticipation of or not playing a bunch of freshmen, I should say, with the anticipation of they're not ready, but we're going to be good 3 years from now, and we're going to develop them and then use them. This is the NFL, and this is a team that is pedal to the floor, time to win. There's no more tanking involved. It's go. If Nick Scorton is the best guy for beating his man and getting to the quarterback, play him. And if he has a couple rookie mistakes, if he loses contain, help him learn from that.
Yeah.
But to me, the things that they bring, and I'm including Princely Omanmielen in this as well, the things they bring in potential difference-making plays is worth they might not be as reliable against, unusual play calls as some of the more veteran guys. Play the young guys, please.
It's one thing if you're a team that's already well established and you're already winning, like you're a Green Bay or something along those lines, and you can draft an edge rusher in the second round and slowly work them along because you know that in a year or two they're going to be really big for your franchise and they don't need to play right away. Everything I just saw on this past Sunday was just basically what we saw last year from the Panthers defense. So, yeah, you should play these guys.
I also like thinking of specific situations. And what I mean by that is, if you're trading a draft pick, this might be a good analogy. If you're trading a draft pick, I try to not think of it as a third, right? I try to think of a player that I think is going to be available that I like in the third, right? It's not just trading some amorphous blob of draft pickdom, right? You'd be trading Princely Omanmielen, right? Like a player that we like that can be a difference maker. So think of it like that. So now don't just think of, we should play the veteran. Think of it as, okay, let's say they both win. They beat their man, right? They beat the offensive lineman in front of them. Who would you rather have chasing Kyler Murray on Sunday? Thomas Incoom or Princely Omanmielen? Right? Think put them in real situations, right? Okay, you have a tight end coming on a crack block, right? Sliding behind the line of scrimmage. Who would you rather have him face? I think Nick Scorton is one I would like to have in that situation. Right? Don't just say like, oh, you got to play the veteran because he knows better. It's like, no, actually, put him in situations and tell me which one you'd rather have. Play that one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And then think of those situations and decide in your imagination who's scoring touchdowns, because that could make you money. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. Your season, your shot. NFL season, it's rolling along. Crazy that it's already rolling along. But every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. That game we're talking about, Carolina, Arizona. If you're looking at touchdowns, how about we look at touchdown scores? Tedero McMillan, plus 170. I think he's going to be a big part of their red zone playbook. Trey McBride doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, but if you're playing a team that has uncertainty at safety, tight ends are pretty good bet to find the end zone, and Carolina does have uncertainty at safety. Trey McBride, plus 150 in the odds. If you want to go long shot, how about we go long shot? Xavier Legette, plus 1,800 to be the first touchdown scorer of the game. Side note, what if Legette returns kicks? Just to get the ball in his hands in space without having to actually have him catch a pass. Possibility there. Maybe he'll return the opening kick for a touchdown. That would be good for an 1,800, plus 1,800 bet. First touchdown scorer. He's plus 310 to score at any time. By the way, all those lines and odds are subject to change. Go in, look around, see what you like. New customers, I have something special for you in addition. If you bet just $5, you can get, new customers, $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Right now, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and at sign-up, use code TIMD, that's code TIMD, to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. Now we need some numbers game contestants, correct? Because we have to give away some tickets. Lumineers tickets specifically. They're coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on September 16th. If you want to win the tickets, you have to win the numbers game. If you want to win the numbers game, you have to call in now. We need 2 contestants. The number, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Call in now to play the numbers game because it's coming up next.
99.9 The Fan, Newcomb and Company, Buffalo Brothers, and Atlantic Spas and Billiards Hot Tub and Sauna Expo want you to see hockey live in Las Vegas. It's our Sin City Skateaway. Listen to The Fan through September 19th. Keywords come your way every hour from noon to 6. Text in the keywords to enter to win a trip for 2 to Las Vegas. We'll fly you to an amazing room at the Park MGM Resort, and we'll hook you up with tickets to the Carolina-Vegas game. The Sin City Skateaway, only on 99.9 The Fan.
Your home shelters your dreams and protects your memories. At Baker Home Exteriors, we understand this deeply. It's why we've dedicated ourselves to caring for homes like yours. As part of the Baker Roofing family, we bring a century of expertise to every project, from roofing and siding to windows and decks. We don't just upgrade homes, we help protect the life you've built within them. Because your home is where our heart is. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and start your home's next chapter.
Stay informed with The Rundown, the daily newsletter from High School OT that delivers high school sports news and insights straight to your inbox. Brought to you by High School OT and powered by our sponsors, First Carolina Bank and Smith Douglas Homes. Subscribe to The Rundown at highschoolot.com.
Son, do you know what time it is?
Your father and I were waiting all night for you to come home.
I'm sorry. So we could tell you that you're eligible to become a member of Navy Federal Credit Union. Wait, what?
Since your dad's a veteran, our whole family can join and get exclusive savings, discounts, and award-winning service.
Thank Now go to your room and think about what we said.
All veterans and their families are eligible. Join today. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCAA.
It's fur, fun, and free. Join fellow pet lovers for Richie Rescues in the Park, a free community event filled with adoptable pets in need of homes. Come pick your next pet at Richie Rescues in the Park this Saturday, 11 to 3 at Dix Park in Raleigh. Sponsored by Richie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Lumineers tickets going to the winner. The contestants for today, Hudson and Coates and Hunter and Raleigh. Battle of the H's. We'll start with a question that we'll ask both contestants. They'll answer it. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. Hudson and Coates, you are up first. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, my first question is, this is the Hudson that was at our Numbers Game Live event this year, correct?
Yes.
How's your arm, right? You were dealing with a little bit of an arm injury when we last saw you.
I'm in a half cast right now.
Half cast? All right, so you're on the mend. Glad to hear it. And welcome back to the show. The question for today is, as it often is on Friday, what are you looking forward to most about this upcoming weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure it relates to sports in some way.
I'm looking forward to the South Carolina-Vanderbilt game. I like Lenore Sellers, and I want him to beat Vanderbilt.
Okay, big Lenore Sellers fan. Dennis, any follow-up questions?
No questions.
All right. That brings us to Hunter and Raleigh. Hunter and Raleigh, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, same question to you. What are you most looking forward to about the upcoming weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports-related somehow.
Looking forward to seeing ECU beat Coastal Carolina down in Conway, South Carolina.
ECU beating Coastal. All right, a couple of big college football fans here. Dennis, which one are you rolling with? South Carolina Vandy because of Lenore Sellers, or ECU beating Coastal in Conway?
That's both actually intriguing matchups. That's a tough one.
Very South Carolina oriented.
Yeah, it is.
Although
but actually,
ECU is going on.
I will say this, though. It's the North Carolina school going into
Yes.
South Carolina to win a game. So I'm going to take the North Carolina school in this one. I'm sorry, Hudson. Stay on the line. You're going to be number 2 on this one. I'm going to go with Hunter and Raleigh.
All right, Hunter and Raleigh gets to go first, as you just heard Dennis say. Hudson, you will have your chance. Just have to sit on hold there for a second. Hunter, are you ready to pick a category?
Yeah.
All right, the categories are NFL players that played for teams that don't exist anymore, and this includes teams that have relocated. NFL players mid-September birthdays, NBA players known for their strange shooting forms, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's do NFL September birthday.
All right, I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs.
15.
Correct. Harry Douglas, Tennessee Titans.
7.
Incorrect. Jerome Ford, Cleveland Browns.
24.
Correct. Will Shields, Kansas City Chiefs.
Pass.
Shaw Smith-Wade, Carolina Panthers.
27.
Incorrect. Harry Douglas, Tennessee Titans.
10.
Incorrect. Jerome Ford, Cleveland Browns. Or sorry, Will Shields, Kansas City Chiefs.
44.
Incorrect. You got 2 right. 2. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Jerome Ford. Harry Douglas, you can hear here on ESPN Radio. He's an ESPN Radio personality. During his time with the Titans, he wore number 83, for those of you playing at home. Will Shields, one of the big guys in the middle, 68. And Shaw Smith-Wade, defensive back for the Panthers, 26. So you were close. You were right on top of it. Just missed it by a number. But you got 2. We'll see if it holds up. Go ahead and stay on the line, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to Hudson. Hudson, are you there?
Yes.
All right. Can you turn down your radio just a little bit? We're hearing a bit of an echo. All right. And once you do that, I will give you the categories. There we go. The categories are NFL players that played for teams that don't exist anymore, NBA players known for their strange shooting form, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let me go NFL players that don't with teams that don't exist anymore.
Sounds good. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. You need at least 3 for the win, and your time will start when you hear the horn. Marcus Allen, Los Angeles Raiders.
22.
Incorrect. Warren Moon, Houston Oilers.
1.
Correct. Torrey Holt, St. Louis Rams.
88.
Correct. Howie Long, Oakland Raiders.
97.
Incorrect. Marcus Allen, Los Angeles Raiders.
20.
Incorrect. Howie Long, Oakland Raiders.
Pass.
The Raiders, gotcha. You got them all but the Raiders. Warren Moon with 1, you got it. Torrey Holt, you went 88. We would have also accepted 81. That's a pretty famous number for Torrey Holt as well. Marcus Allen, 32, the number we were looking for. And Howie Long, 75, the number we were looking for. But in fairness, they both played a long time before you were born. As did Warren Moon, and Torrey Holt may have overlapped with you a little bit. I doubt it, though. Either way, you got 2. It's close, but it's not enough for the win. Tie goes to whoever goes first. So, Hudson, hopefully you had some fun.
Yes.
All right.
It is.
Thank you very much, and try again. That means Hunter is the winner. Hunter and Raleigh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Won yourself some Lumineers tickets. They will be coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park September 16th, and you have a pair of tickets, so congrats.
Thank you.
All right, stay on the line. Dennis will grab the info he needs to grab from you to make sure you get your prize. For everybody else out there, you also have a chance to win a different competition. It's called the City Skateaway, and I'm going to give you the keyword. I already read it once this hour, but in case you missed it, I'll give it to you again. You can win a pair of tickets to see Carolina play Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. We're talking hockey here, so Carolina at Vegas, October 20th. It comes with round-trip airfare for 2, a 3-night stay at Park MGM Resort and Casino in Vegas, and a $400 food credit. All brought to you by Park MGM Las Vegas, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Hot Tub and Sauna Expo, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company. The keyword that is still good until 6 o'clock, so you have about 20 minutes to text it in, is box, B-O-X, box. If you get that correct, if you text it in, and you, I'll give you the number, 919-860-5326. If you text it in before 6 o'clock, you get this hour's entry into the Sin City Skateaway. So keyword box, keyword or key number, 919-860-5326. Send it in, and it might just get you a free trip to Vegas. Right now, Dennis, I believe you have something you want to tell the people.
I do have something to tell the people. Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Law Tigers. Something here about as a motorcycle rider that you can do, whether you're a first-time rider, even riding for years, or maybe looking to get on the bike for the first time. Go to lawtigers.com and actually scroll down on their page, and they actually have a rider benefit kit for you. It's a free rider benefit kit. So the rider benefit kit includes what may be available to you if you are injured in a hit and run, if there's bike theft, things along those lines. All things that help protect you as a motorcycle rider, because all the protection that you can get as a motorcycle rider, it's a great thing. Not just with how you protect yourself on the road, but in case there is an accident. And this is where Law Tigers comes in to help you. Your case evaluation with Law Tigers, it's always free. Again, it's always free. Even if you got injured in a motorcycle accident months ago, insurance company isn't doing everything you need them to, or they're just dragging their feet, you can still get in touch with Law Tigers. And again, your case evaluation is always free. Plus, you don't owe a dime until your case settles. You don't pay a dime until your case actually settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, has to make our picks. Send you off into the weekend the right way. That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Finally.
Yes, finally. There's an app for 99.9 The Fan.
Finally!
Listen to your favorite hosts, your teams, and live sports action.
Touchdown, Philadelphia! They are destroying the Chiefs!
and every podcast episode at your fingertips anytime, anywhere. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
Today's real estate market can be a little challenging. That's why you need a company with both personal expertise and cutting-edge tools to deliver exceptional results. At Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, innovative programs like Buy Before You Sell, Find It First, and their 100% money-back guarantee help you buy and sell with ease and seamlessly navigate every step of the home ownership journey. To learn why you should work with the #1 family-owned real estate firm in the country, contact an agent or visit howardhannatate.com.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Ugh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $78 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.76 to 4.98. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, Greater Triangle area, Chick-fil-A invites you to enjoy a 4-count chicken minis on us in the Chick-fil-A app. Join us this week, September 8th through 12th, to get your reward for a 4-count chicken minis by downloading or signing into your Chick-fil-A app with location services on in the Greater Triangle area. Redeem when you order through the Chick-fil-A app at a participating Greater Triangle area Chick-fil-A restaurant from open to 10:30 a.m. Offer subject to availability. Rewards are single-use only. Limit 1 per person per Chick-fil-A One account. See further details in the app.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So, looking back at the week that was, and it is a Friday, so it's a good time for reflection, right? Look back on the week a little bit. Looking back on the week that was, we revealed a new app. Have you downloaded it yet? If not, what's taking so long? I don't know why I got mad at it, too. I'm asking a favor. But I do think it's a favor that's a win-win. So 99.9 The Fan, for the first time in our history as a station, have our own dedicated app. We're not sharing it with anybody. It's been designed over a long period of time. They've worked out the kinks. It features everything that you'd want as a fan of this station. Live stream. And I'm not talking negatively about anything that was structured beforehand. By far, the easiest, most simple way to listen to our station away from a radio is this app. You don't have to search for it aggressively. It's right there. It's super easy. Also, the organization of all of our content, right? I talk often about the different podcasts we have, Pack Therapy, Panthers Playbook, Kane's Corner, and the different shows we have. Next up, this show, the Adam Gold Show. There's really so much content that we're putting out that I imagine it could be a little daunting if you're a fan of one team. This app eliminates the daunt. There's no more dauntingness. I don't know what the proper grammar for that would be. But my point is, if you're a Tar Heel fan, you can now go into our app and very easily just get all of our Tar Heel content. If you're a Canes fan and you're like, why does everybody talk about football so much? You can go on our app, hit the Canes section, and you will just get bombarded with Canes content. By the way, they had a little prospect game today. Logan Stankoven's going to be throwing out the first pitch at a Bulls game, the Durham Bulls.
Yeah, tonight.
There's a lot of energy. Everybody's in town. They're getting ready to roll.
Prospect game, there was a 2-2 after regulation. They lost in a shootout.
All right, well, there you go.
Skills competition.
That result comes and goes just as quickly as anything else. It's more about what the players did. But either way, I'm saying if you're a big Canes fan, download our 99.9 The Fan app, Google Play Store if you're on the Android side of things, obviously App Store if you're on the iPhone side of things. You can also catch the link in any of our social media platforms. There's contests that'll be on the app that are going to be exclusive to the app. So we won't be able to have you win on air. The only way you can win is by going to the app. There's poll questions, which I can tell you we had a poll running this week about the Panthers' playoff chances. Our early adopters of the app, not optimistic about the Panthers' season. as shown by the poll results.
Yes, 67% of the voters said no, they won't make the playoffs. So the options were yes, no, maybe, or are you serious with this question? And 67% said no, and about 19% said, are you serious with this question?
And I would
which
guess,
is another form of no.
Yeah, which is no and more angry about it. So there's a lot going on in the app. It's a lot of work has gone into it. I'm asking a favor. I'm not even asking a favor. I'm asking you to open yourself up to a great way to get sports content about the teams you care about. 99.9 The Fan, the app, and that's it for my plea. Now it's time for picks. Let's go ahead and make some picks. Dennis, what are we picking?
Let's go ahead and start with a 21-point favorite in North Carolina taking on Richmond tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they win and cover. I think they keep the pedal to the floor, if you will. I think they pour it on. And I hope they pour it on. I think Jordan Shipp should have a big game. What I'm more interested in is where do the carries go in the running back room? Because you would assume like whoever gets the carries early will be the hot hand. If they're taking care of business against Richmond, Richmond, an FCS opponent that's hasn't impressed through their first two games, against TCU or Charlotte, it could be a hot hand situation, right? You give everybody a couple carries. Whoever does best with them, they get more carries. But against Richmond, you have to think like whoever gets the first carries is going to have a hot hand because you should be having success. I want to see who they choose to give the ball to on as a running back, but that's all window dressing. They should win by a bunch, and they should do whatever they have to do to win by a bunch. I think UNC covers.
All right, another one involving local schools here. Let's go Duke on the road at Tulane. Tulane 1.5-point favorites at home against the Blue Devils. By the way, you can listen to that game over on Buzz Sports Radio. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff.
I got to take Duke.
Me too.
I think if the game ended, I don't know, like halfway through the third quarter against Illinois, Duke would be favored, but they had that spiral against them at the end, and maybe it changed things. I still like Duke. I'm going to be real. What do they say about a house when you're buying a house? The bones are good. Like, I still look at Duke's roster. I look at their coaching staff. I look at their quarterback. I'm like, the bones are good. There's still the things that matter are still here, even though, there might be some superficial damage from the storm they suffered against Illinois. Like, the bones are still good. So give me Duke to win. A one-score game. Like, I think it'll be a good game, but I think Duke wins.
Yeah, this feels like a 4-point type win.
4, 7, 6, something like that.
Yeah. All right, let's go to another ACC game. Number 12, Clemson on the road at Georgia Tech. Clemson only 2.5-point favorites on the road.
One of my bold predictions was Georgia Tech wins. I think a lot of it, and maybe I should search for it now since I hinted that I saw it somewhere earlier. I think a lot of it comes down to if Haynes King plays. If Haynes King plays, I think that's a nice little upset watch. I was thinking about this the other day. Do you know who Haynes King might remind me of a little bit? Duggan, the quarterback at TCU.
Oh yeah,
that made it all the way to the national championship where they got lit up 2-3 years ago, whatever it was, but beat Michigan, I believe, and J.J. McCarthy in that group in the semifinals. Right. Just like a guy who's, I don't really see an NFL future, but he's a football player and he's going to find ways to win. If Haynes King is healthy, I might like Georgia Tech as a trendy upset pick there.
I didn't realize that he's in his 6th year of college, by the way, because his first year was 2020 at Texas A&M, COVID year, so it didn't count. And then 2021 at Texas A&M, only played 4 games, so he was able to redshirt that year. Then played a handful of games more at Texas A&M for his 3rd year. Transferred to Georgia Tech. Now he's in his 3rd year at Georgia Tech. I didn't realize he had been in college football that long. I knew it had been a minute, but dang.
I remember watching the Elite 11. They did like a online like a YouTube documentary of the Elite 11, which is a premier quarterback high school ranking thing, whatever you want to call it. And you want to hear some of they did like the whole behind the scenes thing. Do you know what class he was in? Bryce Young's.
Yeah, that's right.
Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Hudson Card, who was coming on, Carson Beck in the same class, Jacoby Criswell in the same class. It's like a who's who of players that are like, oh yeah, that guy. Plus some NFL quarterbacks. So he's been around for a while. I think he can lead Georgia Tech on something kind of a run, but he's got to be healthy, and I think he is.
So, speaking of Carson Beck, Miami, number 5 in the country, hosting number 18 South Florida. Miami 17.5-point favorites in this one.
I like South Florida to cover.
Okay.
I don't like them to win.
But what if they did?
If they did, then USF becomes, and Byron Brown becomes like the Ashton Genty to Boise State last year.
Oh, yeah.
Becomes the Jared Zabransky to Boise State a million years ago. The Colt Brennan to Hawaii. Like the player who was at the center of the group of 5 team that everybody thinks can go make a run. I think usually those nice stories hit a point where it's like, maybe not. Usually those stories don't all happen in a 3-week span. Like they went, what was it, 24 in the country, Boise State, followed up by 13 in the country, Florida, beat both of them. Now number 5 in the country, Miami. It's like they're playing a video game, right? Like the levels get harder each game you play.
Right.
They got to play, I don't know, the New York Jets next week if they beat Miami. That's the final boss, right? They got to play an NFL team. But no, I think Byron Brown will look good, make plays, but I don't see USF winning. Miami by 14.
Okay, let's get to a couple NFL games here real quick. A fun one this weekend, 4:25 kickoff, Super Bowl rematch. Eagles at Chiefs. Eagles favored by 1.5.
Xavier Worthy not playing in that one.
Not playing.
I think the Eagles win. And I think the panic around the Chiefs will be tremendous, and then they'll still end up like the 3 seed, make the playoffs, and at least the AFC Championship game. But no, I think right now the Eagles are healthier. I think they're playing better football, and I think I don't want to underestimate how big of a deal it is that their number 1 and number 2 wide receivers for Kansas City are not going to be available in the game because Rashee Rice is still suspended.
All right, final one here real quick. Panthers at Cardinals, 4:05 kickoff. You can listen to it on Mix 101.5. 3 o'clock coverage with Anish Shroff and the folks. Arizona 6.5-point favorites at home this weekend. Which, by the way, I think is I take that back. The second largest point spread of any NFL game this weekend.
I don't like it. Cardinals and they cover. Until I see dramatic improvement from Carolina, I'm going to expect kind of what we've seen over the last few years to be the most likely result, which is not the best football. I think it's going to be a big game. We were talking about this off air. I think it's going to be a big game for Trey McBride. I think it could be a big game for Marvin Harrison Jr. And thus, obviously, a big game for Kyler Murray because somebody's got to get him the ball. And I don't know if the Panthers are ready for a shootout offensively. What about you? Which way are you going?
Give me the Cardinals win this one by 10.
Yeah, I'm around
Cardinals by 31-21.
I was going to go 34-24. It's not fun, but we'll see. Hopefully we're wrong. Dennis, what else do you want to tell the people?
I actually do have something to tell the people. Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Speaking of losing, again, we don't hear this often in sports where losing is a good thing. When it comes to weight loss, though, losing is actually winning. And I actually stepped on the scale last night, and I stepped on the scale again this morning just to kind of make sure the numbers weren't completely thrown off. I'm over 30 pounds down in about 6 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. 30 pounds down. I even looked in the mirror last night, and I almost didn't recognize myself because I haven't been this low in terms of weight in about 10 years. And it's just a real thing. It's been 10 years since my weight has been as low as it's been. And I know for a lot of people like myself, it's been super frustrating at times because you feel like you're doing all the right things, the exercise and the diet and all that kind of stuff, and nothing seems to work. Well, this is why you got to get in touch with Raleigh Weight Loss Center because with their program, there's no shots or injections. We're not doing any steroids or HGH. It's just resetting and restarting your metabolism so you can do the natural thing, which is burn off the fat, burn off the weight, but not just reach the target goal weight, but also maintain the goal weight as well. That's the plan at Raleigh Weight Loss Center is to not only reach the weight, but keep it that way as well. You can visit them online, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com, or give them a call, 919-897-7506, 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll hit the weekend for a full weekend of football and fun. Hopefully you do as well. We'll be back on Monday to react to everything going on over the weekend. And please download our app, 99.9 The Fan. Search for it. Subscribe to YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. We'll see you on Monday, everybody.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and as the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance, that's right, 8 in a row, that's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
It's bow time. Fumbling the food on game day?